Welcome to Plat Chat Overwatch episode 245. It's the biggest episode of the year, fellas. It's the biggest one, I think. Maybe. It's the preview for the Overwatch World Finals, this time in Stockholm. Yeah, I mean, these episodes usually bang, so you're right, Joss. It is. Are you excited?
Yeah, dude, I'm pumped, bro. I'm actually so ready.
I think I got pumped today.
You got pumped? Who pumped you?
I guess me. I guess I.
Oh, a self pump.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I
am feeling the chaotic energy and excitement for Stockholm because honestly, a little bit of it was like, you know, you're going home, and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of like emotion, like going home. I'm just freaking excited. I'm ready to get things going. I'm feeling the chaotic energy. So I hope you do too, Joss. Avril, you're going as well.
Does Stockholm feel like home though? Because you're not from Stockholm.
Yeah, like, it's Sweden, dude. There's Swedish everywhere. There's Swedish people, my people. I'm actually kind of sad because I think that we get in tomorrow, and tomorrow night there's actually in Stockholm. The Swedish football team is playing a game, in like the national team, cool. And I was like, that would have been so sick if we could have caught that. But I don't think we get it in time. So
all the Americans, he's talking about European football.
No,
here,
yeah,
well.
I got that.
I'm about to see some of Swedish NFL happening out here.
I think you can contextualize football.
Is the Swedish football team good?
No, their form is awful. Like, it's like infuriating. It's like we don't even qualify for like the European Championships or World Championships anymore. It's infuriating.
Are any of the Scandinavian countries like good at football?
I think Denmark is good. Yeah, Denmark is better than us. Usually Denmark and Sweden went like toe to toe. But they definitely had the better club. I think Copenhagen, their football team has been historically better. But Malmo is also sometimes, you know, they're the European teams they're fighting. So
why is Sweden ass?
I don't know. There was like after Zlatan kind of left, there was like a bit of a vacuum like in the team, like no one could fill his role. And so we were trying to find our identity. We still have really good players. Like there's Kulusevski who plays for Tottenham, you know, really good club in England. And we got like I think we got like a center back playing for Manchester United. So we got talent. They just need to put it together, and they haven't been able to. So I don't know why we're talking about football in the first 5 minutes of the Overwatch podcast.
I'll answer the question.
I'm excited. Sweden, let's go. It's gonna be so sick. I'm ready.
Yes, I am going though. To answer the question, yes, I am going. I'm dreading how long it's going to take me though. I was like, dude, why is this? These flights are going to take over a day to get there. So this is going to be. I think they're going to be the furthest away I've ever traveled. Yeah. Anywhere ever. So
I think it was like 30 hours for me.
What?
Yeah, when I flew from Sweden to Australia, it was.
If you're going anywhere out there, you're fucking going like a Robert. What is it? What's that? It's like.
Wait, it was not 30 hours. There's no way. How long is that?
No.
It can all up it can. I mean, it depends how long your layover is. You can't do it in one flight, so your layover could add enough time.
It's like 22, 24 maybe.
Yeah, without a layover, I mean, like if you take out the layover, then but with the layover, then we're talking like over a day.
Yeah, I was in China for like 6 hours.
Now, one of the flights is like, we're going to go through Heathrow and London. I'm like, dude, if we're going to London, I'm literally going to the other side of the world. Like, if you dug your way through the earth and came out the other side, I'd be in England. Like, that's how far we're
probably connecting to is Heathrow from LA to Heathrow and then to Stockholm.
Are they stupid? Why don't we just push the continent together again? Why don't we just Pangaea?
Are they stupid?
Why can't we just live in Pangaea?
Are they stupid?
Are they stupid?
Can we just live on Pangaea and drive everywhere? You wouldn't even need a plane anymore. Come on, let's just let me
it would
just
make a
drive
lot
Stockholm.
more sense.
And then we could urban sprawl even more. If we had Pangaea, we could literally just urban sprawl the entire continent that way.
If they've already put in the effort to project the moon into the sky and build a giant ice ring around the Earth so the water doesn't fall off, we should push them together.
Can you imagine how much beachfront property is going to be worth when most of the world is not going to have any ocean and most of the world is just hardcore? So imagine if you lived in the literal middle of Pangaea. What does that look like? What does that feel like? You're just in the middle of Pangaea.
I mean,
I think
that's
gotta be essentially like living. Yeah, you're gonna be living in Nebraska. It's just you, the middle of Pangaea, just more Nebraska.
Nebraska, but even more, just bigger Nebraska. More Nebraska.
It's new game plus Nebraska.
Anybody out there in Nebraska in the comments? Let us know. Let us know what it's like.
The UK would lose out the most. They're like, oh, we're this island, and now we're just in the middle of it. We're between
Any
America
You think
and
the
Europe.
UK
island
would
country.
lose out the most? Do you think in the Pangaea situation, the UK would lose out the most
not
out
the
of every
most.
nation?
But they'd probably be pretty sad because they're like a group of islands, and then
Our beaches
you know,
suck, bro. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, there's a
I
couple
think
of
there
beaches
are-
that were okay.
you'd
but,
be like,
the
oh, we have a
majority
navy,
of
guys.
them,
We got a navy. Don't worry.
I think
guys.
when you talk about places that would lose out in the beachfront situation, perhaps like Hawaii, like like there are some other places that are more better off
Does
than
Hawaii
the
have to be
UK.
part of it? They can still be Hawaii.
Pangea,
What are you
yeah,
talking
no,
about
they're in.
Pangea,
We're
bro? What are
putting
you
everything
saying?
together, man. We're putting it all
Everything
together.
together.
Like
Why does
this shit is
Hawaii
gonna
get
be
a
like a bunch of
pass?
Play-Doh. Yeah, Hawaii doesn't get a pass, man.
No, Hawaii is it's a
Hawaii's
great,
epic.
great separate. Like keep Hawaii should remain Hawaii. I love Hawaii.
Okay,
I don't.
we'll strike that one off the
Oh.
docket. We'll say Hawaii.
Okay.
You know what?
Yeah,
you
my
can be your
bad.
own thing.
My
you
bad.
can be your own
Let me,
thing. We're
yeah,
gonna
let's
form
message the
Pangaea.
tectonic plates. Guys, leave this one alone. Leave this one alone, tectonic plates.
Well, the way you're describing it, it would be like human-made. Like we would put Pangaea together, so it wouldn't be the Earth, like the tectonic plates.
Well, but it's not Pangaea anymore if Hawaii is not part of it. That's just like, it's like everyone
That's the whole
plus
point.
Hawaii.
Exactly.
That is the
Was
whole
Pangaea
point.
literally all land in the
Yes.
entire
Every land,
entire
every
globe?
land.
There was not
I'm
a
pretty
single
sure it
piece
was
of
all, I'm
land.
pretty sure it was. Now, I'm not a, we should put a note. We're not geologists, so I'm not
None of us are
totally certain.
scientists.
I'm not
Welcome
totally
to
certain if it was
Foreheads.
all
I'm pretty
land.
sure at some point in the Earth's history, Pangaea, it was just
probably
one
all
big
of it,
land
you know?
mass. And
Yeah.
then, I probably had rivers and shit like that. And then slowly over millions and millions and millions and millions of fucking years, they ended up separating. And then,
That's probably a
non-Pangaea
meteor or
formed.
something, right? Like something caused a big
No,
shift
I
to
think
happen.
No,
it's
it's
I
just
don't think it was the
tectonic
meteor.
plates.
I think it was
just-
the Earth
it's
at
tectonic
at
plates.
core.
You think it just broke apart? Like I was just like, yeah, we're floating away from each other.
That's
Johnny
how the
sounds like a dinosaur
tectonics.
politician, blaming everything on the meteors. This
It
is
wasn't.
crazy.
It wasn't like.
Not every.
We need to control our stratosphere borders. Too many meteors
Too many
are entering
meteors.
our
Get them outta
atmosphere
here.
and destroying our
Where's the
Pangaea.
Space Force when we need them? Where's
Yeah,
the Space Force?
that's what the Space Force is for, guys.
That's true.
Why haven't we pulled up Pangaea yet? How did this all go wrong?
Because Solomon's like, please move on with the bit. This sucks.
Class-
This bit
cla-
sucks.
Classic Avast bit here. This is good. I like this.
Yeah, this is a classic bit. This is a classic bit. We definitely we
Guys, it's a
activated it.
bit. We're not geologists.
I mean, it is fun to think about though, all the same. But I mean, I think
I
we
wonder how
can.
the beaches were. Were they sandy? Were they pebbly?
I would imagine they were mostly very rocky because it was all like volcanic activity that had made
Yeah, I
like a
would
large
assume-
portion. Like,
How did we get a
large
how did we get a
rocks.
how do we get a classroom set up? How did this happen?
This is
I think
an
this is
epic-
just part-
This is a Solomon invention.
is this the Solomon? We're in class now.
Yeah, we're in class.
What-
Johnny's
this-
apparently the teacher, the guy that knows the least about Pangaea.
This is
but,
actually
I mean-
such a any.
Wait, how do I know the least?
Well, we were chatting. You were like, "What the fuck's a Pangaea?"
Well,
bro?"
you
Is
put
that
out a
some
I
kind
know
of
what
bread?
situation.
Pangaea is. I know what it
Well, that
is.
doesn't mean that you couldn't know the
I'm
least
just
about
asking
it.
questions, Jaws. I'm just asking questions.
Oh, you're the Alex Jones of Pangaea. My bad. I didn't know.
asking
Like, I didn't
questions.
know.
Are we sure there was not a separate little Hawaii island? You know?
Pangaea plus Hawaii. Were
Yeah.
they the same? Question mark.
Google's like 100 million years ago. Where was Hawaii?
Where was
Show
Hawaii
me,
at?
show me Hawaii on the map of Pangaea.
I
Where
mean, if you
was it?
pull up Pangaea, like it's actually not just like everything together. There are still like little things.
Yeah, there are little things, but the
Exactly,
majority
so-
of
But
the
Hawaii
land
is,
mass-
to be fair, Hawaii is small. Hawaii is
the
small.
majority of the land mass was concentrated into Pangaea. Load up Google Maps.
But in
Okay.
this situation, Hawaii.
Don't
I mean,
Google
also
Maps, it'll
regardless
dox
of the point, I think we're missing the real thing, which is like I feel like millions of 21-year-olds just felt psychic pain from that like virtual classroom from their COVID schooling. They saw that and it was like an immediate PTSD trigger.
Geology.
You gotta get them on the
Let's
Zoom
go.
early. You gotta get them on the Zoom early.
I
That way
think we
they know.
should just all become.
I could
geologists.
see
I think that would be
Johnny being a
fun.
Zoom teacher. Actually, I could see it.
Yeah,
No.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know what?
No,
I could
am
see
so
that.
far removed from being a
I can
teacher.
see that.
I could never be a teacher.
You make informational YouTube videos now.
No, I don't. I make
What about
opinion.
that 3-hour deadlock video? That was
This guy walks up.
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I'm not being gaslit. Is this a different reinforced that makes YouTube videos? Wait a
I
minute.
don't. Wait. It's like opinion piece. It's not like education.
Well, information. Okay, opinions and education and like educational are not necessarily.
You're sorry. I
mutually-
should inject my opinions in my education. Yeah, that's the
No,
way to
you can
educate.
be you can make an informational video while it's still your opinion if you provide information within it. Information just means you're providing the information.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Hey, gas me up. Gas me up. I like it.
I'm not gassing you up. In fact, you were gaslighting. It was the opposite of gassing.
Gas lighting me up.
Okay, put this on.
All right.
Put this on. Put this on.
Nice. So we've talked about Pangaea and now
Jesus
Deadlock
Christ.
for the first
All right.
portions of the Overwatch podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm cooking here. I'm cooking. I kind of paid off a little bit.
We should talk
but
about
okay.
Valorant. Actually,
I'm gonna be
Alright.
honest. The only other thing we haven't talked about is the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. So what do you guys think?
Okay. I have a take. I have a take.
Go on. Go.
I have a
What's the
take. I'll start first. There has not been a single good celebrity boxing match in the 15 years of me
That's
being
facts.
aware of
No,
them
I
existing.
agree.
I
It
can't think of a
sucks.
single good celebrity boxing match in the 15 years of them existing.
just brought up the toy.
Yeah, I because everyone was
It's
like,
true,
everyone was talking about this shit, and I'm like, brother, like, there's not been a single good one, and this one, he was fighting a 60-year-old man that nearly just died. Like,
how about we could do you and Jaws, Avast versus Jaws. That would be a good.
well,
one.
that would be good because we're both. A, we're not celebrities, and B, we're both not good at fighting. So, it would be like, so it would not be good. But it would be good in a different respect. But like, it would not be good.
Twitch
still.
streamer boxing. What is it called? Chess boxing event. Me versus Avast.
Yeah, chess boxing was actually legitimately good. Chess boxing was fun.
Entertaining. Yeah,
But, like,
you know, actually, the best
actual
thing that came out of the Mike
celebrity boxing
Tyson fight was that GIF of him walking away. And it's just
with his ass out?
fucking ass.
Yeah.
That was a crazy. GIF.
He was like doing an interview, and it's just like. It's just him.
not
He's
phoning
doing like
it
a
up.
locker room interview. He's shirtless. You think he's just shirtless in the locker room. Then he like walks away and his ass is just like fully. He's in like a jock strap. So it's just double cheeked up.
It's crazy.
And so it's just crazy. This is
I've
what we
not
need for
seen it. I've
OWCS
not seen
Stockholm. We need to be in the locker rooms doing pre-game
the
interviews.
locker room
and they
chat,
need to be in
right.
jock straps. And we need to be seeing cheeked up players getting ready.
And they all gotta
before
walk
the
away
games.
That's
together
fair.
in
Walk
tandem.
away
Yeah.
Before then, like 100%. Like they need to
1
be doing that.
million concurrent views.
That wasn't even the best Mike Tyson interview, by the way. The best Mike Tyson one is he was talking to a 16-year-old reporter, and like she was like, "So what do you think is going to affect your legacy?" And he's like, "I don't care about my legacy. We're all dead anyways. We're all dust on this stupid planet. Nothing matters." He literally said this like to the 16-year-old interview.
I mean, he's not
Right
lying. The amount of
before.
shit he did post boxing with the tattoo and the tiger and all this crap and going bankrupt. I mean, it's true. He doesn't.
I have to pull up the actual quote
doesn't
just so you
care.
guys. Like, here it is. Mike Tyson gives on the interview. He specifically says, we're nothing. We're just dead. We're just dust. We're absolutely nothing. Our legacy is nothing. This is what he said when asked about the concept of
Holy
his legacy
doomer.
in respect
Oh,
in respect to the Jake Paul fight. And that's
sick.
that's how it feels for people. Like, so, like, you know, what do you guys feel about, like, you know, the difference between Overwatch League to OWCS and like the legacy there? And I'm like, we're just dust.
We're just
It's
nothing. We're just
legacy.
dust.
The legacy matters. There's no point to it. Okay, get over it, man.
Oh, that is
Reminds child reporter that she too
was 14
will die.
years old. What the?
I thought she was. This is so fucking crazy.
She too will die.
She
said-
too will die.
Oh my god.
He said that to a 14-year-old, full life ahead of her. You are going to die soon. We are all dead. We are
This
all
is like
dust.
so. This is like for everyone that gets like. I saw people getting worked up about like, man, where's like. There's not a lot of marketing going into the OWCS thing. We're just dust, Redditor. We're just dust. We're absolutely nothing. Okay? It's all our legacy matters not.
Oh,
One day
fuck,
you will
that's
die and
so
it'll just be
good,
your
bro.
competitive Overwatch subreddit account as your digital footprint. They'll go back and be like, why didn't they market OWCS more? You should have been out in the woods frolicking with flowers and bees.
Speaking of legacy,
Let's go. Start Plat Chat, everybody. VOD watchers.
with the
They've not
holidays
stayed.
creeping up faster than your aunt's fruitcake recipe, I've got something way better to share with you. If you want to look sharp for all those festive gatherings and maybe finally win that Best Groom at the Family Dinner Award, check out the latest masterpiece from Manscaped, the German Pro Avast is dying.
Sorry.
Electric
I
fart
just it was so
shaver.
glorious. I love Manscaped so much.
Trust me, it's like Rudolph for your face, guiding you to a smooth, irritation-free shave. Head over to manscaped.com and join the 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using code PLATCHAT for 20% off plus free shipping. Let's dive into the goods. The Chairman Pro is armed with not one, but 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. Think of them as your grooming superheroes. The skin-safe 4-blade foil for when you want that baby's bottom smooth, and skin-safe stubble trimmer for when you want to keep some stubble, but clean it up a little bit. Both keep it looking sharp while minimizing razor burn and irritation, because nobody wants to show up to the holiday party looking like they lost a fight with a Christmas tree. But wait, there's more. The Chairman Pro has Flex Adjust technology, which is basically like the holiday miracle of shaving. It's like Santa's elves made it just for you. The blades and pivoting head adjust to every curve of your face, and it's gentle on the neck area as if they had the gift of foresight. So go ahead, kiss that awkward jawline patch goodbye. No more pretending it doesn't exist while you hope nobody notices under the mistletoe. And if you want even more precision, on the right side of the bracket, there's a precision lock. When you lock it, the blade head sits firm, so you can achieve a more precise shave. And here's something that's going to make your grooming routine even easier. The Chairman Pro is waterproof. Yep, you can use it right in the shower. And the waterproof feature doesn't just make shaving easier, it also simplifies cleanup too. Just a quick rinse under the sink and you're all set. The Chairman Pro isn't just for your daily shaves either. It's powerful enough to tackle up to 5-day growth, making it perfect whether you're shaving every day or just tidying up after a few days. And with up to 75 minutes of runtime on a single charge, you'll have plenty of juice to go from Santa's beard to smooth as a snow angel. It even has a travel lock to help make sure it doesn't accidentally turn on in your bag, and an LED spotlight to help you see every detail, ensuring nothing gets missed. Get the Chairman Pro today and experience a shave that's as smooth as you deserve. Go at 20% off plus free shipping with the code PLATCHAT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code PLATCHAT at manscaped.com. Thank you, Manscaped, for once again supporting the podcast. Please, if you're buying Christmas gifts, not Thanksgiving gifts, if you just you need to buy this thing, okay? Use code PLATCHAT for 20% off plus free shipping. All right, get on it. Thank you, Manscaped.
That hair on your face will be dead. It will be dust. It will be just nothing.
It'll be dead. But this, if with proper care, the Chairman Pro would outlast you. It would not be.
Yeah, that is true. That will not become dust. You will become dust before the Chairman Pro.
Imagine you could pass this down from generation to generation,
and that will be your legacy.
That's your legacy. Think about that. That really ties in to our previous comments that we talked about before.
And your beard will be dust.
Yeah.
After.
And your beard will be dust.
It will be.
That's true. It'll be nice and smooth. You'll look, and also since it lasts so long, when you're being buried, you can shave your face with that too, and you'll still look pretty nice.
Oh, you'll look good in your funeral day. That's
look good in the look good in the coffin.
What?
If you think about that.
That's good. Oh, that's really good.
What are you talking about?
It's got a lot of durability, man. It's got a lot of durability.
It will last.
Okay. Yeah, it's
all right.
Last.
How long have you been recording, Solomon? Should we get into the?
Guys,
it sounds like you're gonna be like, let's
recording, guys.
Can we end the episode?
Should we talk about the event?
Thank you for tuning in to the OWCS Stockholm preview. That's it. We've done the finished preview.
Thank you guys.
All right, let's talk about DreamHack Stockholm. It's the OWCS World Finals. We've been waiting. We got 8 teams taking it all on for a chance at the first place trophy. So let's just run through the format a little bit first here. Of course, we're going to have our quarterfinals. We got first to 2 in the quarterfinals, so a bit different.
About that.
Yeah, it's first to 2. There's no B stream, but 4 rounds, of course, and then it's best of 3 the rest of the tournament up until the finals, which I believe is still best of 5. So
it's only those first games that are first to 2, and then it is regular first to 3.
Yeah, it's first to 4. Sorry, finals.
Apart from final first to 4. Yeah, obviously that cuts down on the B stream because me and Rose did the B stream last time. Although there was a ton of tech issues or whatever, like going through the venue and shit.
And you were in our green room.
Yes, I was in the green room. It was fucking. I love casting in the green room at an event. It's very epic as the crowd is going crazy on the stage, and it was epic. It was fun in its own way. It's just way better if everything's like on the main stage at the event, so I can you can kind of see.
Let's keep baiting him with some more questions where you can get mad. Let's find some more questions to bait him with. So we can get mad at the situation. I'm gonna think of something. You guys.
Oh wait, Jaws? You want us to get angry at Jaws? Or Jaws?
No, not it. Just Jaws to get. You ruined the whole thing.
I have something. Well, I have something about. I have something. So I was excited. I was like, okay. Did you guys watch Collegiate this past weekend?
I saw a bit of it. Yes, and I did see the metas.
Do you want to pull up?
Aware of the meta.
Do you want to pull up the YouTube link and put it in the sheet here, Solomon? You just get a clue of what's happening, what's going on.
Just like our reformation of Pangaea, we have decided to go back to what once was simple, and we are so back
What?
in amalgam.
Now, okay, wait. Okay, so before there are, for people that are looking for cope, now I don't think there's cope to be found, but there is some cope. Technically, this patch is live. Now,
Yes.
the OWCS patch is going to be the pre-Junker Queen nerf patch.
Yes.
But everyone is still, the streets are all saying, they're all wailing, they're congealing in Pangaea, all the streets in Pangaea leading to central Nebraska too. They're all saying that
Good comeback.
that Mauga
Good
is
throwback,
still
sorry.
very meta.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What was good about Malga in the last patch? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, well,
They
I think
nerfed
it's more that
Orisa.
Mauga is pretty safe, and then Orisa has been receiving nerfs like over and over and over again. So
It's because all of Overwatch trends towards, at the end of the day, everyone wants to become the Borg. Everyone wants to become the Tyranids, where it's one giant mob of bio entities that run at you. And that's essentially all of Overwatch's histories have essentially been refined into that, where people are like, we want to walk as a blob.
Hang on. Let's go back in time, because we were in a Diva meta because of the Juno speed ring, and then we were then in a Ram-ish meta in the NAEU side, because Ram running through speed is pretty good as well. And then Orisa ended up being the stabilizing hero there. But so what, we did, Ram is just not good either? Is that the story?
like, I think as patches go on, I think if you look at a big patch and you initially see, okay, so what heroes can be viable, and then like we see really good metas where people are playing everything, and then eventually the meta just boils down to Orisa or Mauga. And I think that's just how every meta after every big patch is going to be. And it just so happens we're on like the tail end.
You think no matter what the patch, like the
Genuinely,
actual, that you think no matter what, we will always return to the
will
2-hero
always
system of Mauga
manage to
Orisa?
return to the 2-hero system of Mauga Orisa. Yeah, genuinely. Because they each receive their incremental little nerfs, little changes. And
Oh,
they're
come
like,
on.
okay,
It's
we're
all
gonna
because of
buff them
Juno.
a little bit. Is it though? Because I think even without the Juno, Mauga and everybody else would still be meta.
If Juno Brig wasn't better, we wouldn't be here.
You don't think so? Who else would we have then?
I mean,
now,
because the only
crap.
replacement for that, because if Juno wasn't meta, the only replacement for the speed would be like Lucio. Obviously. But it's
We'd
like,
be in the promised land, Joss. We'd see all kinds of tanks. We'd
It'll
be
be Lucio.
flourishing.
I guess the question becomes of like, do
We'd be
you
in
think
paradise.
if you were to remove Juno from this meta and put Lucio in his current state in place of Juno,
There's no
and
way.
put that comp against other compositions, would you think it would?
You would
still
have
potentially
Kiri
trend towards it?
Lucio as the backline instead of Brig. I think potentially still the same. Maybe you'd see different DPS. But I still think tank-wise, you're probably still going to revert to Orisa.
I think
part of
so,
Orisa and
because-
Mauga are just safe. They're just safe picks. You just don't die on those characters, you know, and they set up people really well. I think every
But
other
also, I
tank
think
is
it's
just a little
because
bit more
it's really
risky.
hard to kill the DPS because, to a degree, I think, like Johnny, I think to a degree also, because of the strength of Juno combined with Brigida, it allows you like a lot of options to also like pocket your DPS characters as well, right? So like, so there is some theoretical flexibility that like if Juno or even Brigida, right, potentially wasn't as strong, like maybe some of the really safe picks that you see a lot, like Ashe and things like that, maybe wouldn't be as strong and would be potentially be able to be killed by like more mobile comps or something.
I think we're just brawl centric because of Juno. How good Juno is, the meta revolves around brawl. Now, I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to see teams push away from this. If you are not favored on the Mauga composition, you're going to try to change things up. So obviously, there are maps in the pool, for example. And since we cannot talk about the meta, the format, stuff like that, you know, we can even pull up the map pool if you want. But like, there are maps in the pool where you can kind of move away from Mauga. So I have no doubt in my mind that some teams at the tournament, they're going to push for whether it be like Winston comms. Some teams will probably try to pull out an Ana, for example, and shut stuff like that down. You know, long sight lines die, for example. So like we got Gibraltar in the pool, for example. We got Hollywood as a hybrid map. We still have Ilios in there. The Korean teams are gonna love playing Ilios. So I don't think Mauga is going to be permanent picked all the time. But I think the meta kind of like revolves around Mauga, and then teams will adjust accordingly depending to like how they think they can win matchups against Mauga and what their comfort is and like their win conditions depending on their roster and preference and all that.
I think the real cope is going to be Korea playing something else that's not Mauga. That's the real cope out of this meta. I don't know.
I mean, I could see
I don't
Falcons
know if-
like Junker Queen, you know. Since
I don't know
it's
if
speed nerf.
collegiate, like
see-
I think NA is going to lock stuff like this because it's the easiest thing that they'll move towards. Probably, you know, maybe even EU, but I just think Korea is the only hope that we don't get hard locked into a Malga mirror match meta.
I think there's a real opportunity where we see Queen, really, because Queen with Speed Ring and Queen with Juno. Well, to be fair, everything with Juno is very good because Juno's just busted.
Yeah. I mean, Juno's just
But
really good.
I think Queen would be the only other viable option. I don't think we're going to see Dive. I mean, maybe we see like Winston if we go to some crazy. Can you pull out the map pool again, Solomon? Actually, see if there's any kind of like dive-ishy maps that we could play. Okay, so Gibraltar. We have Gibraltar in there.
I told you.
Yeah, so Gibraltar circuit. I think you just still play Brawl. Makes the most sense to me, especially with the changes as well. Yeah, it feels like only watch point in that map pool realistically that we might see Winston. But yeah, but every other map I do just see it being.
I think Queen is probably the one that's more likely to make an appearance outside of the Malga.
Yeah,
is
for
like
sure.
More Queen, especially for like Falcons and stuff like that, or even like Space Station. You know, like
The thing is,
Queen.
The real depressing thing is it's not even just the Malga mirror. It's the fact that I saw a Reaper mirror there as well. I'm like, bro,
yeah,
what?
Reaper's cool
Like-
as fuck.
Like, if it was just Malga, but then there was still, like, the Cass Genji situation on the DPS, I'm like, okay, maybe it's salvageable. But then you see a Reaper mirror, too, like, oh my god, dude, like, come on.
Yep.
And then there's
Yep.
Echoes in there, and the Echoes, like, would have been fine, but then you realize the Echoes are there, and then they're both going to copy the Malga, and then there's 4 Malgas.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, please, no.
And also,
no!
the only way they play is like they're literally just there to play. Like they don't play for necessarily like huge picks. They're just coming into like carpet
Beam
bomb
the
off
the
the rush and then beam.
Yeah, right.
like
You're just
it's
here to
like-
beam somebody that's probably the Malga, because the only way the
I mean,
Malga
like,
dies is
but
to beam.
it's just it definitely is an issue. So I think there's hope where it might not be perma Malga, but there's definitely like someone has to be like the hero to break it to a degree, and it's just tough. I think
Usually
I think
Orisa's
it's
there to
tough.
counter Malga, but with the Rissa nerfs,
Yeah,
that's...
yeah.
It is pre-nerf Jungle Queen, like you said. So
Yeah,
Free
Junker
buff
Queen, yeah.
Malga too, which is fun.
And pre-buff Malga. So I still think some certain teams like Falcon, Space Station, essentially like there's a possibility we'll receive Queen over Malga. Now obviously you could make the argument of like, are those like vastly different scenarios per se? Because realistically, like, is there that much? In my mind's eye, I don't find that much of a difference stylistically between a Malga and a Queen meta. Like
I think it's more fun to
realistic-
watch.
Sure, but that's just because people don't like how Malga's kit works comparatively. But like in terms of the actual meta, what is the realistically? I don't feel like we've ever really seen that big of a difference when it's a Queen meta versus a Malga.
No, I
to a degree.
disagree. I
Really?
think Queen is just infinitely more fun to watch because your
That's what I
ability-
said.
Yeah, I know exactly. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, I'm disagreeing with Connor. And like your all you do is Malga is just hit cardiac overdrive at the right time, right? And then you're just sustaining through these fights. With Queen, it's like you're hitting the skill shot knife. If you manage to hit that on a backline or like even the enemy Queen or like a DPS or something that's like, oh, it doesn't have Wraith or whatever, like an ability to get out of there, that's just infinitely more fun to watch because it's like you're gambling, you're just like, boom, you're throwing it in, trying to get a pick, and then you're just trying to play around that cooldown and like jostle for position. Whereas Malga is like only jostling for position with the cooldown. That isn't like a gamble. In a way, you could argue it's a gamble because you don't want to mistime it or anything, but it's not like a skill shot you're gonna hit that's gonna impact the game real quick. And like, oh, we pulled someone in, we hit a big carnage, and the Echo shoots them, the Reaper shoots them, and they just blow up. Like that is infinitely more fun than what a Malga is. And Queen ult is also way fucking cooler. Like you hit the fucking
No, I
rampage,
mean
it's
I
fucking
agree
sick.
with that. I agree with the act about her kit. I'm specifically saying like I'm trying to, and this is honestly just me trying to remember too. Like from my mind's eye, didn't when we have like hard Queen metas, we still played kind of similar DPS picks. There was like still a lot of Reaper, there was still a lot of Mei, there was still a lot of Ashe.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
my point being is like
we
the
did.
comp doesn't function that much differently,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
heroes
sure,
you
okay.
see are not going to be that
Functionality,
different,
but like entertainment value, I think just the Queen is just way better. Because again, you're
Hey,
playing
real quick.
Reaper and aggressive, more aggressively. You're playing Echo more aggressively because you're hitting these big knives, So yeah, I would
Hang on,
much
hang on.
rather, and I hope Green Tees pick Queen.
I'm looking through the patch notes for Malga and just checking them on the Wikipedia, Gamepedia, whatever. And we haven't had a Malga buff, like, realistically, in a long time. We haven't had it. Like, the current Malga buff with the overrun cooldown adjustments, that's not going to be played because we're on the previous patch. The patch before was the Incendiary Chain Gun, ignite damage over time increased from 3 to 4 seconds. That's surely not a big enough buff to really
No.
justify Malga. And then the patch before that for Malga was 9th of July this year. Overrun knockback damage increased 5, and the stomp damage increased by 15. Again, it's just more overrun stuff. Cardiac got a pretty big nerf, in my opinion. It went from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. Okay, the life steal went from 60 to 100, but your allies now get only half the life steal and half the damage reduction as well for the duration of 3 seconds. So it's like, when you really look back at the patch, it's like, dude, what out of these patch notes really suggests that Malga's any good? Because
Well,
on
that's where
paper,
my theory
he's
comes
still
in.
pretty bad.
Like, what are you like missing? Like, Ram just doesn't do enough. I feel like in this kind of like meta. At least the Mauga has some kind of like burst potential.
I'm just saying he never got slowly like buff crept up.
No, it's because the resource bad
he
now.
didn't secretly got buffed in there. So
This is where my theory comes in. My theory genuinely is that we eventually, after a big patch, after these nerfs, etc., we go from season to season. Eventually, everything boils back down to Orisa and Mauga because they are the safest picks out of all the tank rosters.
Also, the
That
comp's
can be-
really easy to execute.
The
Extremely
comp's
easy
easy
to
to
execute.
execute. It's very hard to like fuck up. Like, oh, okay, we're pushing now. We're gonna go in rather than like dive, which has a lot of different moving pieces. It's much easier to play death ball than it is to play like a coordinated like full on dive. Like, that's why I think over the course of time, over the course of these big patches, we just end up at this point because it's easy to execute.
actually, I'm gonna say
and it's got a lower skill floor.
We're going in circles now, so
Sure.
I'll add one real quick comment to the whole Malga Queen situation. I think overall, yeah, I think the comps, as far as like the other heroes, probably don't change a lot. But the way the tanks interact is really important because in a Malga just wants to like fight the other tank and get in with a double chain, guys. I feel like the Queen, the way she interacts in these matchups, you want to knife like probably not the tank, and you want to go for someone that's not the tank. I don't know. She kind of avoids the tank battle. I think Malga just wants to kill the other tank, especially if the other tank is not Malga. Then it's very easy for Malga just to target the other tank the entire time. That's a huge difference in gameplay.
Sure. Well, that's the meta preview.
there you go. Not a preview. Something like that.
We hope not. We hope that's not the meta preview.
But maybe not. Maybe not.
Probably
Maybe
it
not.
is.
Solomon, can you pull up the blog that I sent you as well? Just some other details before we get into the teams. Of course, there's going to be drops. There's the what do you call it? The prize pool fundraiser, in-game cosmetic bundle, the Neon Streets May bundle. You can see the
sick.
dance was inspired by someone's dancing like a webcam last year. It's kind of hinted that this is Florida Mayhem's championship skins from last year. Avast is smiling.
All three of them?
No, I'm
Three
not
skins?
smiling. I'm not smiling.
You're in
man.
agony?
I'm in agony because Mayhem had like arguably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, brands in Overwatch League by the end of it, and it was just it's just sad to not see it get that last bit. But whatever, like they reuse the assets. Like, what are we gonna do? Am I gonna cry? We're all dust, as Mike Tyson said. So it's like. It doesn't like, it's just like unfortunate, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad they got something out of it if that is theoretically what it was, so it's fun to see it.
I mean, it's neon. Florida Mayhem was neon towards the end. Yeah.
You can log in right now, I think, from the 18th till the 25th or something. I saw a tweet about it or something, and you get some in-game stuff for free. Yeah, it's like a icon and
They changed the main menu.
It's
card.
a name
They
card.
did change
and
the
an
main menu.
icon, yeah.
You can
And
log
the
in
music
right
too.
now. You log in
Yeah.
right now and get it.
Yeah, you can log in right now and get it. They changed
Unless
the main menu.
you're listening to this like weeks later.
Sure, yeah.
Anyway.
They changed the name menu, and there's a new theme, like an actual theme. It's sick, right?
There's 2 new themes.
I don't know if Solomon can pull that up or like do something fancy in the background.
Sean
right
Miller
here,
talked about they literally went out.
There's the login
and
bonus.
There's
Name card.
there's the bonuses. But
24th,
Sean
18th
Miller
to
also
24th.
said like they went out and like
An
made
actual
a
orchestra.
distinct composition just for OWCS finals, which I think is cool. I think that's it. It's the one above. it.
Yeah.
Gotta
There you go.
Thank you,
It's a
Solomon.
Well, I mean,
Rolling
that's the
Stone
article.
interview. You can click
That's
on
not
that.
it, but...
Yeah, you can
Oh,
kind
that
of
is
click
it,
on it
sorry.
still.
I
Yeah,
thought you were gonna
can
click
on
on
that.
like the main menu screen
And
that has
then-
like the song
That one.
kind of playing.
Oh well, we can't hear this. I think.
No,
Well, we don't have to
So-
hear this. It's for the viewers to hear. We've already
Okay,
heard
well,
it.
they can go listen to it,
Oh, okay.
All right. So they have an anthem song, which I think is like the general one. And then I think the second one is called like Overtime or something.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what that will be used for, but Overtime makes it sound like it's like a Silver Scrapes kind of thing.
Oh,
no?
if it's a Silver Scrapes vibe, that'd be sick.
So,
Okay.
it's if you read the Rolling Stones interview, it's they hired a guy who's been working with Blizzard before to make like a separate kind of like orchestra, epic kind of symphony is not the right word, but some kind of track that makes it sound really really hype. Here we go, Dutch composer. And so they made these, songs specifically for OWCS, because previously, I mean, we just reused the Overwatch ones, Overwatch World Cup 1, all that. So now we have our own.
I just speed ran through these 2 songs. Not bad. Not bad.
Do it times 2. It's like, it's pretty good. 2x.
I just 10x both songs. Like, there it is.
Each side of you. Right there. I heard them on 2 different sides of my head. Got blasted with like noise torture.
Yeah. So Sean Miller is interviewing in this one. He's like, yeah, it's really important. We love this song. Classic Americans. They were like, we wanted like a Monday Night Football kind of vibe. We wanted like, basketball, these epics like broadcasts. They have their theme songs. We wanted an OWCS theme song. So
actually does sound like that.
This is our version of that. Yeah.
Just like with less rap, but like, yeah.
That is one of the things that like Overwatch League did right, I think, was like the theme music to a degree. Like, I don't think like, you could argue obviously of like, oh, we're not getting like the like world style like Linkin Park music videos, but like for multiple reasons, but also like having a distinctive style and feel to a broadcast is important to like building a brand, and like also like building up like hype. So like I like it. I don't think there's anything inherently negative about this at all. It's a great thing. So I
honestly,
maybe we need an intro song on the podcast to build a brand.
The orchestral,
that'd be a good one.
The orchestral style is way more timeless. The stuff that Riot does, it's super hit or miss. There'll be years where like, oh man, this is an insane World's Anthem, super big banger. And there's other years where it's just not that good. I wasn't a big fan of the Linkin Park stuff they did this year. Just
the Imagine Dragons was kind of meh from a long time ago as well.
So yeah,
but they also have 2 different objectives though. I don't think they have the same.
I think it is definitely more hype to like partner with an existing pop, brand or group or a band or whatever. But yeah, like I said, the orchestral stuff is way more timeless. Like I think you can just use that forever. It will always sound good in my opinion. So
yeah,
I'm a Linkin Park head. I thought it was good. I liked it, but it's just because I like the band. So you got that. There's going to be drops, of course. I didn't say that 25% of the Neon bundle goes towards the prize pool. So 25%.
Okay.
I think.
Can anybody confirm other percentages in other games?
No. I don't know it off the cuff. I think it's like 50 or something. I think it's usually higher.
VCT bundle specifically for the team capsule bundles was
50?
Was 50.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the champion bundles were 50-50.
Okay.
Also, I mean, like, if I'm remembering properly as well, like, I think for a lot of them, because also you have to take into account not just the fact that, like, money that's being... Because, like, the OWCS one, how it's working, right, that money that is bought is going to prize pools or just going as a payment towards teams?
I'm not sure.
Do you know how it works
I would
out?
imagine prize pool.
I think this is a prize... For us, it's a prize pool.
Sure.
This goes to a prize pool for us.
Because also, like,
this is not a straight payment.
Right? Because there's like the ones where you buy it and it just goes as a payment to team versus like it goes to prize pools, obviously. Which I mean, technically, it sort of works out the same, but not necessarily because of a variety of different reasons. So like, because I don't remember what CS or like for TI's Omnibus, was it 50?
TI was 25, so Dota was 25, and it went only to the prize pool. It was prize pool only, which is why the winning team got gigabucks, and everyone else was like, "That's not bad."
Yeah,
that's not bad. So yeah, I mean, 25 is like it's not amazing split, but it's like you could definitely argue there should be a better split, but it's like not like an unheard of split.
Yeah, it's not because I've seen a lot of people it's just like, oh, why is it not higher? Why is it not higher? I think 25 I feel like is pretty standard, but what do we got to do to make it 50?
Yeah, we got. What do we have to do to make it 50? That's
what do we got to do to make it 50?
We all want to see 50.
Yeah,
I would assume that it's not something that anything that orgs could do on their own. It's more so Blizzard themselves have to like. So I think part of the reason why the bundle split goes higher and stuff like VCT is because they've established a partnership system. So it's like, here's your minimum operating requirements as a team and also you have to give us X amount of deliverables to sell this product we make that will, we're splitting the profits for, and while also maintaining certain levels of like marketing and decorum, essentially professionality that doesn't exist. And I feel like the 50% probably only ever occurs in Overwatch if OWCS and Blizzard themselves be like, we want to establish a program where like teams have to like give us something in return in terms of like, we do deliverables, we do this, like we do all this. And then in return, like we will thus give you a larger percent of the money, because then like you guys are giving us something in return, because like it is still at the end of the day a resource game, right? Like 25% is still like a quarter of the budget of a skin product that you just spent your own resources on to make, not going just all to you. You know, it's going to someone else when you're not necessarily really asking. Now, obviously, I don't really know. During my time working with NRG, OWCS really didn't ask anything of NRG. Like, they didn't ask for very much in terms of like what we had to do to help market and like build products. And so like there were still occasionally like some requests, but it wasn't a partnership system, you know, which also a partnership system where you get more money also means like the orgs will have to do more in return to earn that money, you know? So like
it's a bit more difficult in OWCS as well, because some of the teams, like half the teams, do rotate in and out of like the main events and stuff like that. So it does make sense to do 25. So yeah, but a partnership system.
But I think that's essentially how the only way to get to a 50% is that like OWCS has to essentially make it a commitment to being like, we're gonna pick orgs or like pick a system here to work with orgs, and these orgs will then give us things in return for getting a larger split of skin revenue, because that's essentially why it works in VCT. With LCS, obviously there was like there was buy-ins and such, but like obviously that's sort of at this point with the LTA is essentially eliminated to a degree, and so like it's all it's up to them to feel like, is that something that they want to pursue?
A big win with these bundles as well, by the way, is that they can be bought with coins this time as well, because before we had the Hanzo bundle for Dallas, and I'm pretty sure that could only be bought with cash. Like cash money. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that it was only money, which meant it was a bit more awkward for people to actually, you know, spend money on. Obviously, a lot of people didn't end up liking the skin anyway, but this one is a little bit more friendly to everybody, because even people that maybe don't watch the esport, know about the esport, are going to see, oh, neon fucking May and shit. Hell
no,
yeah.
you could get it for coins. I just looked it up now.
You could get the Hanzo for coins? Okay.
2,600.
My bad on that one. I thought it was only for cash. My bad. But
the cash only one was World Cup. I remember because I paid cash for it.
Cup.
Yeah, it was the Sojin skin for World Cup. That's the cash only.
That is what I thought. That was what I was thinking. But this time around, obviously being 3 different skins as well, a lot more beneficial to people who only want to buy the junk or the May or the Tracer if they want to. So yeah, I think they're doing good work. I just went back to the Azure Flame Hanzo. There's like a Reddit thread. It's like one of the first comments I see is like 25%. Jeez, no wonder Gumba quit. It's like first comment I saw. I was like, oh, it's too good. Oh my god.
I mean, that's. Oh my god, dude.
That's too good, man.
Saying shit that like. People just be saying shit that kills you sometimes. I mean, like the spirit of it. It's like they have like the spirit is there, but there's a lot of wrong things in that one as well. I like the spirit, but so I do feel bad. I think it's just like I feel bad in the current system because like this is clearly, which I know esport fans hate to hear, is like a transitionary year for the program, because like we went from like one of the largest esport programs on planet Earth to like essentially we're running this shit like Steve Wozniak and add fucking jobs out of the garage, you know, to a degree. And like, I think,
what are we transitioning to? Transitioning to what?
But the point being is that like I think
let them build. They're building.
No one knows what the next year will look like. Right. Obviously no one knows exactly like what this is going to lead to. There's clearly a willingness to at least still participate in the program, though obviously it's obviously not as intense because with the release of OWCS skins and like putting stuff in the game client, like there's clearly, I would say this version of OWCS was far more Blizzard supported than pre-Overwatch League Overwatch to 100%. A degree. Which obviously most people don't remember.
Wasn't supported at all.
Yeah, well, but that's the point, you know. That's really the point, right? It's like because most people, obviously, a lot of people don't remember that because like a lot of people are like, wait a minute, launch Overwatch was ass. And it's like, yeah, that's also true. But like, so then like also like I think that no one knows yet, and I think there's a lot of growing pains like with it to a degree, which is not inherently negative. It's just more so like people need to rein in their expectations because I see people being like 25%, this is an outrage, but it's like okay, but what are the teams giving them to like earn that to a degree? Additionally, on top of that, like they're like where's the marketing, where's this? And I'm like, brother, they're building this is fucking Iron Man in the cave with a box of scraps. Like they're working they're working overtime to a comparison because there's like 4 people running this thing, man. Like they're all doing great work, they're doing their best to run the program, But you also have to keep in mind that like the scope of the program is literally so much narrower than it was in like the Overwatch League time. So like obviously next year will be the year of like, okay, what happens? Do we keep the same? Do we see something different? Do we get worse? Like who knows, right? Like it's like right now I think this is just like people are still reeling with the shock of like, wait a minute,
We're building up, baby. We're building up.
But who knows?
We're going
maybe.
up.
Maybe we're building up. I mean, you know, esports is in general is this
I'm
is
gonna
not
play
even
this
a
clip
dig
back
on,
if we don't. If we don't,
this
build
is
up,
not this
we're
also
gonna come back
not
to this clip.
this is not a dig on Overwatch esports. This is a dig on esports in general. Esports in general, not really building up so much these days. Not really building up. So like it's not a dig on the Overwatch. It's not a dig on the Overwatch esports program. Like all those people there are working really hard on the product, and I know their team is really small. Their budget's way smaller than it used to be. It's more so just, you know, right now in esports, like we're rediscovering fire. You know, everyone's like, holy fuck, how do we live without unlimited venture capitalist money? Unlimited. And let's just say there are some unsavory options that have been explored. So we're all figuring it out as we go along.
Let's do those. Let's do the unsavory stuff, guys.
Let's do the unsavory stuff.
Esports requires. Esports needs it right
That's
now.
true.
Esports needs it right now.
Gambling sponsorships, gambling.
Gambling.
Speaking of, there's going to be 3 separate days of drops for this weekend. They have individual drops on each day. So no longer can you get your rewards on Friday and leave. You have to tune in for every single day of broadcast to get all the new drops every single day.
Which is a good, I like that. I like that idea. I think it's a good idea.
We are dropped to the max. We've dropified the broadcast. Maximum drops. There's no way to increase
Dropify
drops.
rebellion.
Dropify rebellion.
I'm just all the drops. We've gone as far as we can.
They're cute little drops.
And we got Mercy for Sunday.
Let's go. Mercy,
these are fun little drops. I think also the integration too. I've been liking the drop program in OWCS 2. So like I think this is fun. Like all of them seem super cute and fun and cutesy, and that's what people want in Overwatch. So
great. It's obviously helping.
Cool shit.
Yep. I think we can just keep scrolling down the blog here. So you know, this if you buy a ticket 2. Yeah, this is you get seating, you get some extra stuff. You get a little Fika spray. If you buy exclusive tickets, you get a hoodie. That hoodie is awesome, by the way. Now we're just full on chilling like we do on the broadcast.
Guys, please buy it,
please.
Can we not say it's cool, bro? We're
Pulling
allowed
the
to
boys
say
back, poggers. You could just keep scrolling. Something that's not in here, I think, is that I might be wrong on this. I might just be spreading misinformation here, but isn't there like a French broadcast or something?
There is a French broadcast.
Yeah,
about the French broadcast?
There is.
Poco and
But it's
Feifei are doing a French
community, isn't
broadcast.
it? Isn't it
It's
community
run, right?
Oh,
Yeah, it's
my
community
bad.
run.
My
I
bad.
would like to say it's also cool. I'm telling you. Another thing that's going all the way up, the Japanese broadcast. They're mentioned there as well. Japanese Overwatch is on the up and up, baby. Look, they're right there. The Japanese talent list.
They're right there.
person?
They're right there. Oh, boy. Where's that image of me and Connor?
I don't know. We have to find that one.
Yeah, I'm really happy for that because, like, honestly, I've been saying this since the beginning, since the Namakuchi brothers' beginning. Japanese
You were in
Overwatch.
early.
I was in early. It's going all the way up, baby. And I think having more
Dude, you're
integrations.
just doing like all the way up.
All the way up, everything, baby. It's going up, just like the stock market over the last 3 days. It's been going. Oh wait, that's been going down actually. That's been going
We
down.
need
actually.
to.
Okay,
We need
okay.
to. He's on. We need to. Check his bloodstream. Check his bloodstream. I need to know.
Dude,
I need to know.
I
what's
do-
going
I
on.
do-
I do have
are
some
back,
cake.
bro.
I
Inflation's
mean, I've
coming
been
back.
eating cake, bro. So I mean, you know.
Oh, you got a
Okay,
sugar
so you're on a
rush going
sugar high. That's the problem. You're on a sugar
No, it's
high.
got rainbow in the middle. It's got rainbow in the middle.
Wow.
It's got a full-on fucking blood sugar spike.
What the-
It's just
what-
Oh, blood sugar's my game. My
Why
blood
are you
sugar's
just
going up.
eating? Why are you just eating cake? Right? Why
are
it
you
looks like a
celebrating?
birthday cake?
Well, I was eating it
What
for
are you
lunch
doing?
and then I played Valorant.
You were
and I
eating
just-
the cake for lunch and then ate Valorant? Are you 12-year-old Maxine? What are you talking about? What are you saying? He's like,
had a regular lunch.
nom, nom, nom,
No.
nom, nom. Nom, nom. Oh, I love the cake. Oh, time to play some video
No.
games. Woo!
I put on my
Yay!
Minecraft slippers, I put on my Minecraft hoodie, and I was ready to go. Ninja sneakers and everything.
Oh my god.
No, bro, I had
Dude, he's
a normal
actually
dinner.
so
I had a
whimsical.
normal lunch. I had a nice, fresh bread roll with some chicken, with some lettuce, some salad, some everything inside the
Nice.
bread roll, and then
Yeah.
I had some cake for a small dessert. Okay, motherfucker.
Where did
you
cake
come
come
at
from?
me. You come
What's
at
the
me.
origin story?
I just got cake, bro. I mean,
Okay, all right, fair enough. You got
It's
rainbow
just
cake.
cake.
All right, okay. We can
just some
keep
cake
scrolling
here.
down the blog. We can keep scrolling
Anyway,
down.
the Japanese casters, I'm glad they're being integrated
Yeah,
a little bit more.
yeah.
I really like that. I really
All
like
right.
that.
That's good. All right.
Insanity.
Following streamers will be outside in Stockholm. There we go. There were like drops too. Drops on co-streamer channels.
Let's go.
There we go. And I think we can
There.
just go through
They
the
didn't,
teams via
Hang
the
on,
blog.
before we go to the teams, they didn't. There's other streamers that will have drops, but they
Oh
didn't put
my
it in the
God,
blog.
Oh,
They
he's
didn't put it in the
plugging
blog.
himself.
He's
Here it
plugging,
comes.
he's
Here it
plugging.
comes. He's plugging. He's
There's another.
plug,
There's a
let him
certain
plug.
other streamer. There's a certain other. I don't know. I don't know
Who
who
might
it
that
could
streamer be?
I don't know who it could be. Maybe it's one of us.
It's
Maybe
definitely
if
not
it's one
me.
of us.
It's
guys.
not Connor. It's
definitely not me.
Wait, so it's not. Hang on. So it's not Connor, and it's not Reinforcer George who are going to the event working. Who else could it be, guys? Who else could it be on this podcast right now?
You're right.
The
It's
minor
Solomon.
drops.
It's
Solomon.
Oh my God, it's Solomon. Oh,
Congrats.
God.
Congrats.
Congratulations, Solomon.
Look there.
Apply!
There it is.
Yo!
There's the drop
Yeah.
co-streamers. AVRL.
Apply! Let's go!
You know what's actually insane? When I remember when Apply was first when he got into Overwatch League and also just playing against some pre-Overwatching and stuff, and I was like, oh man, this guy is he's like the Omega Zoomer brain, and then he's become one of the most reasonable social media Overwatch discoursers. Of many of these people listen. Well, not many of these people to be fair, but he's become very reasonable.
Okay.
He's become very rational.
To that point, in hindsight, this sounds insane, but the way I chose to watch the Trump Kamala debate was an Apply stream.
What is, dude? We're cooked. We're cooked. Johnny's watching the Apply co-stream for the election of our lifetime. Jaws is eating cake in the middle of the day playing video games. And then Avril's just Avril, he's just living his life.
Dude,
He's at
Doing my
counting
thing.
on him. Apply was just going ham. It was awesome.
I'm
I
the
was
free-
cooking with the
God,
political.
this generation is fucked.
Oh my god.
I'm the free.
was a
I'm the
great
free
time.
square in the bingo card.
I
That's
felt
what my
really
face was.
welcomed in by Apply's community. It was a great time. So we just watched the
Jesus
debate together. It was great.
Christ.
Oh yeah, and also
Oh.
250 years America anniversary soon. I don't know how this applies to anything, but
The
this
2026.
But Plat Chat has a 250th episode coming up.
They will not
There
be
you go.
1
coinciding,
year,
though.
7 months, and 15 days.
What if we just don't record Plat Chat until this day?
We just wait 1 year and
then
7
we
months.
come
Yeah.
back.
How to
That's
kill a
not good.
podcast.
It's not good. Yeah, How to Kill a Podcast. So there
But
we
it would
go.
be a really good.
Year and a half away.
250 years.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
our nation is literally we're like the teenagers of the world nations, essentially.
You
Our
are,
shit
yeah,
is
what
young
the-
as fuck. China has
longer
existed
than
for 11,000 years of continuous
What do you
civilization.
mean, Joss? You thought it was longer than that. When did you think
I
America
knew
started?
it was. I knew America was one of the youngest countries, but I didn't realize it was only 200.
No, 'cause Jaws is-
I
Jaws
thought
is
it was up
include-
there with the 400s.
Jaws is
400, 500
include no,
years.
yeah, because you're including the years where we're still a British colony. That's why.
Oh,
Did you say we're?
as a
bro,
British
you
person-
think you're on the team?
As a British,
You're on
as
the
a
team?
British
What are you saying?
person,
Avro was on the team, bro. He's Kiwi.
as a member of the Commonwealth.
Bro,
As a
you guys
colonist,
recognize the
as a
queen. You
colonial.
guys still recognize the queen. You can't be a part of the team.
There's no
Good
queen.
shot.
She died.
She
But
did
when she
die.
was alive, and also
Wow.
the king technically. So I mean, the point being, you guys you can't not part of the team if you're still recognizing the monarchy.
Jaws'
brother.
Jack's favorite king was George III. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
I don't know. The thing is, I don't even know. Wait,
You know what's?
Google this.
Google that. Google that. Johnny, what else do we need to
What's
talk about
the
that's
third?
Overwatch related?
Sweden has a king and queen as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's really cool because the Swedish king in
Are
pop
these in
culture,
esports?
he's he's thought of as a badass. There's
The current king?
the current king of Sweden. He's perceived as a badass because he used to be go to clubs and stuff and be pretty hip and
What the fuck?
yeah, he was just a cool king. He was just a cool king, He was
Does
out and
he,
about and
does
Do
he
you know
recognize
those posters
esports?
around town? It was special guest, this person from some random trash reality TV show, and then in Johnny's fucking hometown, it was a special guest, the fucking king. Was that was he actually just going to the club?
No, I mean, he's the king. He's got his spots probably, and got some VIP treatment. But yeah,
I should fucking hope so.
It was just
Motherfucker
cool.
should get the whole club.
Yeah, there's tons of gifs and videos of him in his younger days. He's a cool
Really?
king.
Bossing
yeah,
it down?
Yeah.
Is he going to be at the OWCS finals?
Yeah, true.
Maybe he's doing the he's doing he participates in like Swedish culture. You know, maybe that's his way of.
I would assume so.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, Sweden has like governmental programs for esports, so I know like technically the government is involved with esports in like Sweden and such. So like, I mean, like I don't think it'd be necessarily outrageous per se.
You reckon Kev's just gonna chill with him?
Yeah, this guy's an app. He's badass. He's a hell.
He's a
he's a great king. I actually don't know what the
everybody.
approval rating is for the Swedish monarchy, but I think it's high because
Dude, this is such an insane peasant post going on. Yeah, this king's really cool. He's way better than your fucking king. He's way better than your fucking king. This is insane peasant posting going on right now. There's like, your king's ass. Your king's ass. My king could beat up your king anytime, any day. Like
what are you looking for,
Nice
Solomon?
arms,
What are
Johnny.
you looking for?
Sean was just chilling through the page, you know,
Is it
on an old Wikipedia scroll.
Isn't there like any interests or like you know, in
Interests.
media or something like that? Where
Stranger
Wikipedia?
knight companion of the most noble order of the something.
What in the fuck is this? The
Well,
Kingsman? What is this shit?
Dude, that monarchies have too many like orders and
This
like
shit
weird
older than the US. bro.
titles and stuff.
God damn.
Yeah, so
Literally older than the US. Established 600.
Yeah,
48,
I mean,
huh?
our
Yeah.
country is. I mean, our country is young as shit. You know. It's-
Connor, your monarchy is ass, bro. Your monarchy is ass.
we got no monarchy. That's the whole point.
Yeah, that's why it's ass.
54% were in favor of keeping the monarchy. In
Oh, that's
2023.
really not.
So.
I mean,
Kind of
that's
bad,
not-
actually.
That's not that high.
2022. Well, only
That's not that
20% wanted to abolish it.
Oh, really? Oh, they're indecisive, I guess. The
Yeah, so I
rest.
guess 30% was indecisive, 30% was for, or 50% was for.
What is the UK's? What did you call it? Like,
But this is 2 years old data, so I don't know.
I hope he's at OWCS.
yeah, that would be
That'd be
fucking
cool.
wicked, bro.
He should
Yeah,
hand out
turn on.
awards.
And
He should
other
hand out-
words.
yeah, well, I mean, like, essentially, I mean, like, I was told that, like, you know, if the Saudi Arabian World Cup team got, like, Benzes for winning, so, like, shouldn't the
We're
King of
pretty good.
Sweden...
The
shouldn't
prince
they at
was
least
there
give,
too.
like-
No,
Pretty
Yeah,
sure
the
the
prince was
Saudi
literally
prince is actually
there. So, like, the King of Sweden, with the event being held there,
like
he should
that.
be handing out, like, canned mackerel to people, or, like, something, like, he should be doing some sort of Swedish lingonberry
Solströmming.
jam.
Solströmming.
You know what I'm not gonna have time for these next 2 weeks I'm in Sweden? I'm not gonna have time for fucking Americans trying to paint a picture of Swedish people and who we are and our culture.
Are you? You don't eat canned fish? You don't eat pickled fish? You don't eat pickled fish? Is that a thing? And you don't eat any pickled fish
there?
there?
King hand out pickled fish, mackerel.
Why couldn't he? Why couldn't he? Why couldn't he do
Surströmming.
that?
Oh, the Swedish chef. Oh, yeah.
I didn't say
Oh.
surströmming, by the way, nor did I say the Swedish chef.
Oh, I
Didn't
love
say
the
those
Swedish
two.
chef. Oh, I love the Muppets. The Swedish Muppet. Yeah, really funny.
He's
Oh,
Nah, that's
Hey,
far
what's
more
this gonna do to
I'm not
culturally
gonna have
interesting
time
to
for
me.
this shit. All right,
That guy's
it's gonna
funny.
be cool as hell, and that'll be the end of it. all
Then
right?
we're gonna have
It's not
OWCS
time for your
Bits
fucking-
upon bits upon bits upon bits.
We're gonna hold OWCS out of IKEA. It'll be perfect Sweden.
Yeah,
It'll be
dude. IKEA meals are actually good. I never had one before until
Yeah,
recently.
they are goated,
The IKEA
bro.
meals are actually not bad.
Jesus,
So, like, I've,
Jesus guy. I
Look at him
hate this
go,
guy.
bro.
I hate this Muppet.
What do
why
you
do you
hate
hate
him,
it?
bro?
Why do you hate it?
Because it's
look at his prawn.
You're laughing at us. You're laughing at us.
I'm not laughing
You're
at
making
you.
fun of
I'm not
us.
laughing at you. I want to be you. Don't you understand? Don't you get it? I want to be you. Don't you fucks understand? This is a voice of American rage
What's
at
it-
our
what's it-
failed at our system. Okay, they all want to be the Swedish chef.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, he
well,
going crazy with
you
the
know,
popcorn,
well, well, yeah. I'm sorry you can't be there.
How many whole tomatoes do you reckon you could fit in your mouth at once?
How many whole
Two,
tomatoes?
Maybe like two.
What?
I really don't have that much. I don't think I could do it that much.
Makes me think of that thread on Twitter with like the scientist who like try to put like an orange in his mouth or something. That's a great Twitter
Did he
thread.
try? Did he succeed?
Well, that's the entire point of the Twitter thread. Is so you have to check it out because it's a long story.
How many do you reckon? If it's
Solomon,
baby tomatoes,
stop.
you could.
Solomon, what are we doing?
Solomon, it's bits upon bits upon bits.
The substance.
We need to get back. We should preview some of the teams.
Yeah, probably should talk about the teams that are happening at the event. I think.
Okay, well, I wanted to set up the tournament, the format, the meta, everything going into it, and then we can talk about the teams, and then we'll do
Okay, so what
predictions. That's the thing. So we can just scroll down the blog, I think, Solomon, and just look at all the teams because I think they're up to date, all of them. Toronto Defiant. I mean, it's a great five. They don't need any bench.
Good.
They got second at the Esports World Cup,
Really good.
which tells you that it can compete with
And
you know,
he's on the
Korean
bench.
teams.
We
That
did
is
a
on the
play
bench.
chaser.
He's on the
He's
bench.
waiting. Dan is waiting. How do we feel, guys? How do we feel about Toronto going into it?
Man, all they need to do is win a game. Just one game, and they've improved since Dallas. Like
if they win a game, we'll be back.
I still cannot. Well, I kind of can believe. I think some of them were sick in Dallas and some other bullshit. Obviously,
Dude,
No. They were
well.
sick. They were sick in Saudi as well, and they beat everybody. So
They were sick in stage 2
That
finals.
is true. Yeah, that
What
is
if they were
true.
less sick though?
They might have been less sick. I'm not sure, but they just need to win one. Please, Toronto, one game, just one fucking game.
They beat Twisted Minds.
I genuinely believe, and I don't want to be like mega coping for Toronto Defiant, but I do believe they are third place team. They are the third place team behind the Koreans, the Crazy Raccoon, Team Falcons, and then Toronto Defiant.
Wow.
Maybe that is omega cope, but I seriously believe in this team this time around.
I'm pretty mixed on that. I mean, I wouldn't think it's unreasonable. I don't think it's an unreasonable pred. As a North American coper, I don't think that's an unreasonable pred at all. But I don't know. There's going to be some teams, especially if we're playing like a hard Junker Queen, like Mauga meta, like especially some of the European teams, specifically like Space Station, that could be fighting for that third spot too. But
it's tough to say without knowing the meta fully, but like going on a Malcolm meta, do you not think that Toronto Defiant stand up to Space Station? Although even with Space Station being very good at kind of a rush,
100%.
In general, I take not that Hardy's been bad recently, but like Hardy Malga, like against someone Malga, like I don't know, man. I kind of take Toronto over them like hand over fist. Even though Astro is improved on Brig and just continues to improve and is a very, very good Brig player, RuPaul and Vega, I think they kind of dominate their backline as well. Like, like I said, maybe
these are team metas though. I don't think the tank matchup's going to influence it. I don't think someone versus Hardy on the Malga is going to be a defining factor at all. Unfortunately, in Malga meta, the tank's input is like it's both high and low. I mean, your input is just play the right character, play this Malga character, and that's your input completely. You don't really have to. There's not that much resting on the tank. I think it's a super team meta whenever Malga is meta, like these situations. So yeah.
I think I am coping about Toronto Defiant. I think they'll do really well. I think at points they've kind of looked weak because they haven't taken NA super seriously because of lack of competition. But also, they've struggled at times in some of these team metas, like most recently, like the Orisa kind of meta against, Nightmare, because maybe they weren't fully practiced on that kind of meta. But I think going into a tournament like this, with all the practice going into it, I think that they'll figure it out and build that teamwork required in a team meta like that. And they have the added flexibility of playing other comps. Like if you take them to Ilios, they probably want to play Gibraltar themselves at times. They want to make use of Vegas and RuPaul's flexibility as much as they can. Like they're not going to be shoehorned into these mega compositions. And so with that, I think they have a little bit of extra to them. I have belief in that they'll figure out the teamwork aspect and play a pretty good default brawl comp, but I also think they have a little bit of extra flair to them in that they can try other compositions and work around their opponent really well. And I think that's something they've done consistently well, is work around their opponent, whether that's like sugar-free, flexing around, whether that's, one of their backliners swapping to a hero that isn't necessarily meta, to force like a bit of a different matchup. And so I actually have full faith in Toronto Defiant. I think they can be a really good contender. Obviously, I think you can't realistically put any team like in the same tier as Falcons and Crazy Raccoon, but I feel like Toronto is almost there. Like I do have a lot of faith in them going into the tournament.
Yeah, I agree. So. I mean, I think they're the best out of all the teams. Still, they're the team that has the best shot of potentially going deeper and of any non-Korean team to win the event. Obviously not saying they're a favorite by any means or even close to being favored, but right now I think the evidence relatively strongly supports that Defiant is the best non-Korean team.
Yeah. If we are Europe head, I think that's cope because the Europeans are SSGNs, they finished above them in Dallas. But I kind of do believe that they're at least on par with both SSG. If not, maybe they have something a little bit more to them that they can be even better than those.
But I don't think it would be unreasonable for Europe to have a good performance, depending on the meta here. I don't think it'd be unreasonable.
No, we're fully neutral on this podcast. Yeah. We everyone is really good. Moving on to the next team. Moving on to the next team. Who we got after Toronto Defiant?
Really good.
Nightmare finishing strong, of course. Following last stage, they were one team fight away from winning stage 4 in North America. They've always just improved all the time, it feels like. So how do we feel about Nightmare going into this? They were good in the Orisa meta. Does that translate into Brawl? And you know, if that's Mauga, for example, how do we feel?
I just don't think they're the problem with every team that's essentially not Defiant and that's essentially not Defiant coming out of North America is that like they all have good pieces, but it's just the level. I think this is just because of the post OWCS like that, you know, splintering that has occurred, is that like they're just not polished enough, you know. When you look at teams like the teams that are favored to win the event, like Falcons and Raccoons, and you know, even like Defiant to a degree, they're so much more polished than these teams that like Nightmare that has a lot of talent, but they just don't. They you know, there's just a lack of cohesion occasionally, right? There's a lack of like, oh, like this was the wrong play. Like they fed a little too hard. They committed to the fight too long. Like it's just small things like that that are gonna keep people from really competing with the best teams comparatively to what we saw in Overwatch League, where there was that huge amount of structure and incentive to like, because I think like almost esports and Overwatch definitely is like, oftentimes the teams that are separated from like that good to great category is like how few mistakes you make. Not even how well you play, it's just how few mistakes you make. And I think Nightmare just makes too many mistakes still. So, and I feel the same way about like NRG also, though I think NRG's talent level is also a little bit like maybe not as high as some of the other teams, obviously, but like I just don't think that. I pretty much feel, and I'm sure Jaws is the same way, maybe, and probably AVRL, of like we're finding like a 3 to 4 team race here of like Falcons, Crazy Raccoon, Defiant, and maybe like Space Asian to a degree.
Honestly,
you know?
you're probably in a less teams in that kind of race. But like to speak to Nightmare, again, if we're really an amalgam meta, this is a very team based type of meta. And if you have a team like Nightmare, that's, as you say, not going to be. I don't think they're as polished either as like the really really top teams. Then you're gonna have issues. What you to have them even be close to Defiant, what you need is a Defiant that's not, you know, putting maximum effort in. That sounds bad because I'm like, you know, I'm not giving. It sounds like I'm not going to give Nightmare enough credit here. But I think in stage 4 and stuff like that, when Defiant, we're kind of maybe not looking in 100% form and even losing. I just don't think that was the best of Defiant that we'd seen. Certainly we'd seen much better Defiant in the past. So even when Nightmare is close to Defiant, I don't think Defiant are even at their best level. So yeah,
I think I definitely agree. Like, I think Nightmare have been a lot of their success has been so much on the individualistic skill of a lot of players and like big plays and big metas where like, oh, Seeker can pop off. Like we've seen Lethal like come in, you know, reverse sweep kind of thing, crazy stuff. Infected, obviously insane player. But in a team meta, like a pure team meta, if we do see the Mauga, I don't see a lot of that actually. Well, it will help them. Obviously, you still need the big play, you still need the playmaking, but in like a very, very coordinated kind of Mauga, kind of rush, sprawl, like fucking run at them, just fuck them. Like, I just don't see them outperforming a lot of the teams. I don't want to bet against them too hard, but even against like SSG, Ents, or I don't know, I don't see them coming out on top, realistically.
I have a little bit more hopium than I think about than you guys. I think about Nightmare. I still liked what they showed against Toronto in stage 4. Like I like their proactiveness. They like making plays early. They're aggressive, and I always love that from a team. When they take initiative and always go early and try to make stuff happen, try to make plays. I love that. They have damage players who can take over the lobbies, which is going to be way harder on like the global stage because every team has 6 damage players. But I still feel like Seeker and Zero and Lethal, like all 3 of those guys can like go into the server and like take it to the other team's damage players. And so I think they have a lot going for them. Admiral, like the backline just has to be serviceable. The damage department just has to pop off. And then Infected had a good Orisa in stage 4. Can that translate to Mauga? And I think Clear plays the Junker Queen for them, if I'm not mistaken. I think it plays some Junker Queen anyway. And so, like, if you want to force that matchup, you can do that as well. So I actually think Nightmare could be like a dark horse in the tournament to maybe not take it to like Toronto. Well, I mean, they did in stage 4, Toronto Defiant. Like, I don't know how high, how far they can go, but I wouldn't sleep on Nightmare. Like, something about this team tells me that they have the ability to like punch upwards and take it to some of the better teams in the tournament. So
I feel like they've always had that aura, always, of like they can definitely do a lot better than what they appear. So I kind of agree with you on that. Whether it actually happened, I'm not sure, but I feel like that aura just continues with them throughout any tournament they play in, whether that's EWC or like OWCS. Like, yeah, it's an interesting take. Man, I want to believe, Joey, I do, but
I think they're like so exciting. I think watching Nightmare, you're like, you never know.
Anything can
like,
happen.
Yeah, they could come out in the lobby. Like, I think they've been one map away from beating Toronto Defiant twice. Like, they're a great team, and I think both of those matches were kind of like in a brawl a little bit at least. Like, I'm really excited to see what they can do. I think they could, take it to like the likes of ENCE and SSG and like challenge them. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go on some kind of run, win 1 or 2 matches in the lower bracket. So I'm looking forward to seeing Nightmare in action. Anything else on Nightmare before we move on to Energy?
I have a lot more faith. I have a lot more faith in Nightmare than I do Energy.
I agree.
Yeah.
Agree. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
That's how we lead into NRG.
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
pretty true. Yeah, that's true. And
We know Connor's the biggest NRG lover right here, NRG fan.
I do. I mean, I do, but I do like the team. I
like
do
the
like their
old-
team. I do like their team. I think
Joya.
their team. I think that a lot of the team, a lot of players here are players that we all know and love, and have a lot of them are very individually talented. And of course, I'm sure plenty of people know of the Dark Lord, but like it's, I think your assessment rings true. NRG has looked like the most of the teams coming here. I can't think of like, let me think. Let me look through the teams here. Yeah, I can't think of a more anemic team, essentially, of like a team that's like, we need to get some extra iron in their blood stat comparatively to most of the other rosters. Even though they have a lot of good talent. They're
just hit or miss. They've
Yeah.
just been so hit or miss for so long at this point, it feels like.
They're certainly the weakest form going into the tournament, considering their stage 4 placement. They got 5th
Against
in
Fluffy
stage 4.
Aimers, right? Or Dreamers.
They lost twice to Fluffy Aimers in stage 4.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, they did not look comfortable in the slightest. I mean, this is a team that want like a Kellan Winston, Lucio Kiriko meta. We're just not in that, right? We're in a brawl meta. Maybe you can force, some Gibraltar and stuff like that. But this is probably a team that is going to like have to learn a new kind of meta to really take it to some of these better teams. And the question is like, how much will energy improve from stage 4 going into the World Finals a month later? I think that's the question. And I think a lot of people recognize the challenge that's going to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for this team, yeah. Did you, Joss, go ahead?
I was going to say they are just the hit or miss the team. It's just kind of sad because I think they've had, apart from the Kellen Ball, if we see Kellen Ball again, by the way, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. Goddamn Kellen wrecking ball on Icon Valdo, just getting fucking steamrolled and then not swapping. It's just like, fuck. I don't think they're going to whip it out. Surely they're going to whip it out in this.
I did some prep work. The Winston, the Wrecking Ball, quality of life changes, they're in there. Get a little bit of extra ammo. Some more grapple time.
Is that going to help, Kellen? I don't know, bro. Like,
I mean, it's possible this could be the situation. They could show up and be like the Shanghai Dragons of Stockholm and be like, we're actually, fuck it, we ball. But like, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Slim.
I don't think it's gonna happen though. I find it very unlikely. Plus, they still have the issue too. This team is also runs into the issue a lot where like they're clearly still figuring out of like what their DPS rotation is a lot of the time.
Yeah,
they're
that's
still
true.
figuring this. Which I think that goes into like how anemic they look at times. Like, it's clear they still struggled for their identity a lot. I think Crazy Raccoon, we know their identity. Falcons, we know what their fucking identity is. Space Station, Toronto, like everyone, like we kind of know what it is. Even Nightmare to a degree. But I think energy of all the teams that are at the event are like probably the least like what the fuck is our identity team comparatively, and like what is our actual lineup, like how comfortable we are with our roster and our rotations to a degree.
Yeah.
So that's another reason I'm not like huge on them.
Yeah, that has always been a bit. I mean, they went through that in stage 4 too. I think they had a different damage kind of thing going on in the group stage compared to the playoffs themselves. Neither really worked. This is a team that I think is dependent on 3 players, which, haha, it's a 5-person game. But you need, if NRG is to succeed, they need Tree to have like a monster tournament in the damage role. Like Tree needs to be otherworldly and be the best player for this team at all times. Carry, do really well. Ultraviolet needs to be like super solid. Ultraviolet is one of their best players. And then again, like Kellan needs to find a hero that he's comfortable on and just doesn't look lost at, because Kellan has like 30-40% of mag in him, where like you look at Kellan and you're like, yo, like I think you're overthinking it, but like just like you're a little bit all over the place now. You're a little bit all over the place. Maybe you're trying to hero swap a little bit too hard. Maybe, you know, you're trying to do something when the team is not ready. Like just play with your team and don't overthink it. Like Kellan has like 30% of that in him. And so Kellan just needs to be on like a comfort hero and kind of ball. Tree needs to pop off. And like maybe you can contest one of those teams. But I'd say form-wise especially, Energy is probably the weakest team going into it. Tied with maybe like Twisted Minds. But even Twisted Minds had Quartz popping off in stage 4, and Quartz looked really good. So Twisted Minds have that going for them. So yeah, it's an uphill battle for sure for Energy. I think if they just play like straight up mirror meta, it's probably not going to be their best chance at winning. So I'm excited to see if they can spice it up here a little bit.
First of all, saying Kellan is like 30-40% of mag, I'm like, bro, that even sounds a little insulting, because I'm like, bro, you don't want to be 30-40% of mag. I don't think you want to be 80% of mag.
Kellan kind of is. Like, prove me wrong. Is Kellan
That's not a good thing.
Mag?
You don't want that. You don't want that.
But that's what I'm saying.
Ideally, that's not it.
Look,
you want to move that.
I've been a mag. I've not been too optimistic about mag since like 21 days. I mean, so you know,
he's been hating for a long time.
I think even the Twisted Minds like comparison, I would take Twisted Minds, and we'll get to them eventually. I'll dig in deeper, but that's a team focus. That's like a when you talk about like these like real team based compositions, TM are so good at those. Like they're known for that. Whereas I don't favor TM nearly as hard in like individual metas or like individual mechanical kind of metas, which is what Energy is. Like this is a team that is focused around specific, really strong powerhouse players popping off. They look the weakest in stage 4 by a long shot out of all 8 teams. And I don't think this meta helps them. Like what are the playmaking heroes that we have in this current meta, if it is the collegiate meta? And like for NA, which is the most relevant for the meta, it probably is for them. Because maybe the other regions aren't playing this, but NA looks like they are going to play this. Kellan's not popping off on Malga. What hero is Tree going to play? You know, Echo you could pop off on, but at the same time, in this type of meta, like Connor said earlier, I don't think Echo is like a real huge playmaker, not some backline diver flex DPS. Just like Echo is there to copy the Malga and beam down the Malga and, you know, not just exist in the brawl and the melee. Reaper's not that type of hero either. Your supports are, you know, we're not seeing anything like Anna or anything like that. So there's no real like giant pop-off individual. We're not even in like a Cass Genji situation where you can have a, you know, a proper lip moment where you can just hardcore pop off on that type of hero either. So I don't see where NRG can really pull through versus these teams unless they've really improved their team play and focused more on how they can succeed as a macro team or a strategy team. You're going up against other teams that are just, you know, more drilled. And even on an individual level, I think most of the other teams compete on the individual level, even if it was just based coming down to mechanics.
All right.
Well, have hope, Energy fans.
Have hope. Have hope. I mean, they've shown us moments, but like like I said, form has been bad going into this tournament, so you need a lot of things to go right, I think, for Energy. And if things go right, they can compete. But if things don't go right, it could be, that happens sometimes to teams as well. That like you're going into a tournament, you start prepping with scrims like 2-3 weeks in advance, and you just can't find the thing that works for you. Like you just can't figure out the meta. You can't find the thing that works for you. And then you go into the tournament, you're like, well, I don't feel comfortable with what we're bringing to the tournament at all. Like we had lots of practice, but we just couldn't figure out the comfort comp, the comfort picks, the way to get teamwork going, right? But if NRG does do that, if they do come in with a plan, they feel good about it, then they can contest, they can compete. So we'll see.
What they need is a hard Winston meta and like really good heroes for players like Tree and PGE, you know?
Right. Either a hard Winston or like a meta where like Attack could just like play his favorite heroes as well. I think they could work with, I think Attack, like anything that like it just fits their tanks like archetypes really well, and they can play like a little bit more fluid and less like brawl. is what Energy wants.
They can just play Diva again, or they play Winston again.
Like they just need not brawl. They just need not brawl.
Right.
Yeah. All right. There's the North American teams for you. Let's move on. Take a look at what team we got coming up next. Space Station Gaming with KSA as well. See if we'll have to see KSA in the mix here. 2-time stage champion in EMEA. You know, they've had a few ups and downs. They won 2 stages. They didn't qualify for the stage 1 finals. But that was ages ago. How do we feel about Space Station coming into this end? Mauga meta?
Super good meta. Extremely good meta for them.
Yeah.
The team that has very much succeeded in Mauga metas in the past. And even beyond that, both Hardy and KSA can play it. And yet, remember, stage 1, which is basically a Mauga meta that we finished in EU. I remember Twisted Minds had KSA on that Mauga, and they were an extremely good Mauga team as well. Which is why, by the way, I said that Twisted Minds are actually pretty good in this meta. But having KSA on Space Station, on top of already being an insanely good brawl team and team-based team, that has never been super, reliant on individual pop-offs, although they have the capability on, like, when Spark is on a good day and Psycho has that as well. But yeah, a team that didn't even need that, now actually playing just a raw Mauga meta. Backbone very comfortable on the Reaper, and I guess Psycho plays an Echo, and then you got it locked in. What else do you need?
It's kind of messed up because I think they do have the 2 best Mauga players in the EU. They have one team. It's kind of crazy. I think, especially with how Space Station tend to play as well, May, weird shit with the sim, TPing around. Like, KSA is obviously very used to that, like you mentioned, AVRL, with the win in stage 1. Because that's how they ended up winning. They just TP KSA around. GB just puts teleporters down, and then they just pop out of nowhere, and then they just roll over you. I think Space Station, they're going to come out the best if it is Mauga meta, if it's, or like even like an Orisa meta or that kind of thing. You expect that. You very much expect that. They will obviously add their own little flair to it. If it is going to be like Reaper Echo, I would imagine they're going to go something like the May again. They're just going to go like hunker down style, or like, we'll wall off your Mauga and we'll just kill him. And that's going to be, at least, we talked about before where, you don't want to play against, a Crazy Raccoon or a Team Falcons, right? You don't want to mirror them. Space Station are never going to do that, and they have the best opportunity to throw wacky shit in with their May stuff with Backbone. They have the best chance, I think, against going some of the, against teams like Toronto Defiant and Team Falcons and the Korean teams. I think they're going to be the best coming out of EU, like hands down. I don't think anybody can disrupt that.
I got a really hot take here. I think if it is an extremely mirror-based Mauga meta, like what we saw in the collegiate clips, if that is literally what the meta is, and we only play it, if it's an extremely hard meta where nothing else is really too viable, I actually think SSG is a favorite to win Stockholm. Genuinely,
over Falcons, over Falcons, really.
Over them all.
Wow.
And the reason why is, and again, the parameters, this is why it's a hot take, because obviously that sounds hot as fuck, but like the parameter is specifically that we're not in a meta where too many other things are viable, and we are in a hard meta with the heroes that we saw in the collegiate clip, the Mauga, the Reaper, the Echo, Juno, Brig. If that is specifically what we're playing, and there's not a lot of variation, SSG got an insanely good shot at winning it all, genuinely, because they are like very good
for a better meta. I think
that is like a genuinely perfect meta for them. A perfect meta for them. A meta that all the Koreans are not. I mean, I'm sure the Koreans they're good at everything, but like if you want to bring the Koreans down a peg and up yourself to their level, this is how it's got to go. Like you need to bring them away from individualistic pop off mechanical metas, drag them into a meta where like the mechanics are evened out. They have their MVP best level players. They have the Lip Stalker proppers. The world doesn't matter. We're playing Reaper Echo. Who cares? Like that doesn't matter anymore. We're playing Mauga now. Okay, your best tanks, your Hanbins, your Jumbins, the world doesn't matter. Playing Mauga now. Mauga's a great equalizer. Your tank skill level doesn't matter anymore.
That's actually so true. That is a very good analogy, I think, of you saying like bringing them down and pushing yourself up a little bit. It's a hot take. I don't hate it.
Which also, it depends if there's Jungle Queen being played still as well. Because if Jungle Queen is good because it's pre-Jungle Queen nerf patched, and like there's still like plenty of opportunity to like. And also, I like where I would love to see Hanbin play a Jungle Queen into this and like kind of like dominate. Like I just think for me, Space Station, I don't even disagree with the assessment because I think we already talked about it to death. But like I just have a hard time believing still that like a team like Falcons that also really benefits comparatively like Crazy Raccoon from a more rush brawl centric meta is not still going to be the favorite. Not that Space Station isn't potentially a win, could potentially do well. It's just like, I don't think there's any data to currently say that like a rush meta also doesn't just make Falcons like the immediate favorite to a degree still. It just makes Space Station better. You know,
I don't think
it's
Space
possible,
Station's the favorite. I'm just saying they have a real shot at winning.
Oh, they have a real shot. Oh, okay.
They have an they have a legitimate shot at winning the whole thing. I'm not saying Space Station would be the hard favorite.
We'll check the tape.
Check the tape. I thought, yeah, check the tape. Rewind.
It's a hot take for sure. I mean, yeah. I think Falcons did pull out a little bit of Junker Queen on New Junk City against Crazy Raccoon in the Asia Grand Finals, right? Stalker was playing some Sojourn as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some variation of that at the finals. I think I'm curious to see how the Landon, Funny Astro, Juno Brig does on an international stage, because there's so many great backlines. I think if the meta is especially going to be like Echo Reaper, I think playing Brig is going to be really hard. Like there's a lot of shit that like gets rid of a Brig that maybe like goes for a bad bash, and maybe like it's not too important because like realistically what can you do? But I do think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Landon and Funny Astro to perform, whereas before maybe they were even more comfortable when Funny Astro can play the Lucio, Landon can play like the Kiriko or Landon's Batistes, you know, stuff like that. Now you're playing Juno Brig. How's that gonna fare for SSG? And you know, playing EMBA stage 4, like that's one thing. But now you're taking it to the Korean backlines, the backline of Toronto Defiant. You know, how do you kind of like go up against those teams, right? That's kind of like where I'll be keeping my eyes peeled when SSG plays. Just like, how does the backline do? Because you're right. I mean, Reaper, Mauga, Echo, if that's the case, like, you know, if this is the meta, then SSG, I don't think they could have asked for a much better meta to give them a good chance. So. Yeah, we'll see.
Have hope, Europe. Have hope. Unlike NRG fans, have hope. SSG fans.
Have hope. All right, let's take a look at the next team coming up. It's going to be ENCE, I'm pretty sure. ENCE. Yeah, I mean, probably. I'm excited to see ENCE because, I mean, ENCE is a Scandinavian organization. You know, I'm curious to see if there'll be a lot of ENCE fans in the crowd. Cheering on.
Why is Chase on the roster, guys? Why is Chase here? He's not going to Stockholm, is he?
I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else?
I literally don't know. I don't know.
I don't think he's going to Stockholm, guys.
No?
You not think he's going to Stockholm? How is he going to Stockholm? How does he leave Ukraine?
I don't know. I don't have the.
Even if he goes,
it's been a year. I still don't have the answer.
Is Chase out? I mean, like I said, I don't know as much about Chase, but is Chase already out of Ukraine, or are they currently
No, he didn't. He did not go to a single international this year, despite ENCE qualifying to every international this year, which there's only 3 of them. So 2 out of the 3.
I don't know.
As far as I know, he can't go. So also, if he did go, he wouldn't play anyway. Because if we are an amalgamator, it's Vistola the whole time.
I'm gonna be honest. That's one of those things. That's gonna be one of those things where probably only the GM of the roster can answer this question. I don't have, or maybe one of the members of the team, because I don't have the insight into what might be going on in ENCE with this. So, yeah, but either way, it's probably gonna be Vistola. It won't be Chase.
Let's pretend that Chase is not there. I think it's pretty safe to say it's probably not going to be there. He's probably not going to play, even if he is. This team definitely doesn't want this meta. This team would not like this meta. It's got to nerf Kevsa and Kai, both of them heavily. It's going to nerf Maimon. I don't even, does Maimon play? If it's Echo, Maimon probably plays that over even Kevsa. But Kevsa doesn't get subbed out, so I guess Kevsa would play Reaper. I don't know. I feel like if we were in like more of a hard hit scan meta where you can definitely just put Kai in and carry the game, or some sort of Tracer Genji based meta for Kevsa, you'd have a lot more hope. But based on where we're looking at, unless we can move the meta towards that direction, this ENCE is not going to have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it's even worse than stage 4 meta, right? Because Kai can't play like, you know, long range hit scan if he wanted to. Kevster would rather probably be on the Genji, although, you know, Echo, you can't complain about that. If Kevster plays the Echo, and Kai plays Reaper, or whatever they decide to do with Maimon. So it's probably going to be an even worse meta for ENCE.
Stage 4 was fine because they had the cast Genji. They could play her on the cast Genji and make that work.
Exactly.
And have pop off. Whereas that's just not there anymore.
So it's a tough spot to be in.
We are
Kalex
still,
would probably want to be on the
I don't want to
Lucio.
speak like this absolutes though. Like the meta could be slightly different. It's just like trending towards this, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I also
But,
just think also hit sounds kind of dead.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
wait, wasn't Hitscan
I mean, I
dead
don't think
because of
Hitscan-
Diva? Now the Diva's gone, shouldn't Hitscan be like in theory back?
Yeah, but in theory, yes, with like slower comps. But if it is Mauga, I don't see his camp being viable.
Am I going insanity mode here? It wasn't like Ash still played.
Astra still played, yeah.
Ash was
Yeah,
good
I-
in stage 4, yeah, but
I just don't think if we are
Also
going towards
Risa.
the Magomed, to be fair, like I said, I just said don't speak in absolutes. But if we are going towards Magomed, I don't see Hitscan being played at all.
Sure. I mean, I could still see maps where teams might want to try to pull out Ash even into a Mauga. You know,
totally.
Like, I
There
don't
are
think that's
definitely
an
maps, but
Ash is definitely still to me would be the potential to still see use
For
of,
sure,
like-
yeah. Every other.
So like,
Hitscan
I don't think
kind
it's
of
like for
balloon.
sure
Fuck with
dead
it.
just because Ash is so strong. You know, but I mean,
Circuit Real,
Sure.
Gibraltar,
Yeah,
pull that stuff out, you know?
I still think Widow's going to be fairly strong on like Gibraltar and stuff.
But
Have all
then
the
it's probably
Hitscans,
still going to be
it's Widow.
Basola, Diva, you know, or not Diva, on, you know, depending on the map, it's going to be, they can't play the Winston comps as well as some other teams, right? So they'll have to play like a Diva version of that, which is
It's
not
not
going
going
to
to be
hold
their
up.
best look on DPS if it's Echo Reaper.
Yeah, it's a bit tough. I don't want to count ends out because they're consistently really good, but I'd say until I like see them actually play on stage and it looks pretty good, like I don't feel super comfortable for them. Like
You know what's funny? I think this is like they get a land buff in my opinion. I know it's only been like 2 lands, but they really kind of, I wouldn't say overperform on land, but I feel like they underperform online sometimes. And there's definitely been situations where you expect Ents to do way better in some of the stages and some of the stage playoffs and finals, and they just don't. But then they go to Saudi, they go to Dallas, and it's like, holy shit, Ents is playing good. Like, I feel like they do better in these situations, so maybe they'll get a buff from being in Stockholm.
yeah, I mean they beat Toronto and Dallas. So
I mean, Europeans love LAN. Europeans love LAN. They do love LAN because LAN is the closest event equivalent to Brawl meta. So everyone gets together.
Damn,
they're
that's
close.
Crazy.
Like Europeans, like they love LAN because it is essentially just Brawl, but as an event. So
My guys
like,
love.
As soon
the
as you
local
started
area
talking,
network.
I was like, the bit's coming, guys.
Yeah.
The bit's on the way. Like,
He's loading the bit.
I mean, it's true though. I mean, like, I also find that most of Europe. I mean, like, you know, I just think that Europeans generally get buffed at LAN. I think they're also more built. They're more built for it because also here in North America, you know, we don't gather places. You know, we only gather places if we're, like Europeans gather. They still gather. They still go out. They walk around. They go to
The
shit.
big ass lands, walkable cities. Europe, stay
Yeah.
winning.
It's just a,
2 years,
it's just a culture difference.
2 years
It's a
later,
culture
the
difference.
Americans are still standing 6 feet apart. That's what we're standing right
Yeah,
here.
it's a cultural difference. Well, not where I was in Texas and Florida, brother. We were not doing that. But like
That's true, that's
overall,
true.
like I think that like
Hell
they,
yeah, brother.
Like they do get a land buff. So I agree with the assessment still, but I also think that unfortunately Crazy Raccoon and Falcons are still gonna give them a little bit of the old Schmeat flattening.
I wouldn't
Either
be
way.
surprised if Ents just came out and they just played well and we're just like, well, that's Ents. But they do
Ents,
it. They do
baby.
what they do. You know, it's Ents. They show up. They play well.
Man buff.
Yeah. Kevster will be in his element. It's gonna be freezing temperatures. Have a kebab rulle. You know, he'll be ready to go. So
Facts.
yeah, I feel like they're a bit of an unknown for me. Like, part of me is like, I don't feel that good about Ents going into it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just come out.
They have been one of the most
They
consistent
beat a
teams
couple
to
of
beat.
North American teams. You know, maybe take a map of a Korean team and then call it a day.
Just any non-Korean team take a map off a Korean team challenge.
Would be
That
huge.
is-
I mean, it would be that's essentially this LAN event is to determine like is everyone that cheeks or is it Jover essentially?
Yeah.
You know, like essentially this is your moment. This is your moment. It's your time, everybody. It's
The
your time.
funniest thing that could possibly happen at the entire event, I think, is if NRG took like 2 maps of a Korean team.
And then lost. Yeah, just straight
Well,
up.
because then everyone would be like, oh, NRG took Zeta Division slot, but then they'll be like, oh, PG just dumpstered Falcons for 2 maps. It'd be like hilarious to all the haters out there.
God, that would be so funny.
Maps.
That would be so
It's
fucking
happening.
funny if PG just shows up and it just like dominates, but then he's like, I'm doing full-time content next year. It's just
Because
like-
otherwise, like, in December, everyone will be like, "Oh, I hope to give Korea 3 slots," but then everyone would be like, "Well, NRG, they took 2 maps off, whatever." Anyway, move on to the next team. We've got Twisted Minds coming up here, I think. AVRL, you said you're pretty hype.
I don't know if I'm pretty hyped. I'm just saying, like, I think this is like a team that has a reasonably good shot because.
Sorry.
Avril, we were told that this is your favorite team ever in Overwatch. Is that true?
I think they're a pretty good brawl team, though. I think for this type of meta, this is they kind of scored big as well. Like, they are SSG liked. This is kind of like SSG little bro, unfortunately for them, which means like even within Europe. I don't think they really beat SSG anymore. I don't think the last time they beat SSG, to me, seems like it would have been stage 1. I just don't think this team beats SSG anymore. So they have a very similar strength to SSG, but their biggest strength is having Quartz on the team. But in a meta where there's no super big hit scan, he's probably significantly nerfed. Unless they can force more maps where they can play hit scan. That's probably what they're going to have to do. Yeah, I see them doing like well if it's a hard Amalgam meta, but not better than SSG, obviously.
Remember when they played Lambda all of stage 4, and then they were like, you have to win a map against SSG with UB?
Yeah, that was wild, bro. What an insane fucking ruling that was.
That did
not feel good.
I think that's honestly kind of insane.
Also,
hey, UB, can you just come in? We need you, otherwise we can't qualify.
Please Twisted Mind show up as a team. Please, bro. Dallas, like, that fucking sucked for them. It should, in theory, be easier to get into a European country versus the US. But, like, when we went to Dallas and them just, like, not being a full team, it was like, fuck.
They
like,
were so
they're fucked.
sad.
They're just screwed. There's, like, nothing they could do, bro. Because they played AK on Torp, right? And it's like, okay, he was a good player, like maybe they can. No, they are just getting absolutely dumpstered. I really hope this team can like make it as a team.
It's funny because they all made it to LA for Overwatch World Cup.
Right.
So I don't even know if it's specifically a US situation. I don't know.
No, maybe not. Yeah. I don't know what happened, but regardless, showing up as a full team is pretty sweet. Pretty cool. You have your best chance if you show up as a full team.
Quick tip: if you show up as a team, you will do better at the event.
Yeah,
Thank
you will do better.
Jaws with a quick tip there. Quick
Plat Chat tip, guys. Show up as a full team.
Yeah, I don't feel great about this team. I mean, Quartz is their biggest weapon. You need Quartz to just pop off. But can you do that? We'll see what the meta is. Are they going to play Lambda?
They
or are they going to play
should
UB?
force hit scan. Genuine. If it is like Reaper,
totally.
Echo, they force hit scan. You play.
But even then, let's say Quartz is like doing his thing. Quartz is doing his thing. He's one of the best hit scan players in the world. We don't know if they're gonna play UB or Lambda. Like they might just be playing fucking Farah comps.
No. For this meta, they absolutely play UB. For this type of meta.
I'm just saying it was so confusing that I'm like.
Their
stage 4 was just weird.
Very confusing.
It was just weird.
Yeah. It was because of Genji, right? Wait, what did Lambda even play? Was he on Genji?
No, it looked like UB was benched, and they.
What heroes did the team play though? What was the DPS line? What did they play? I can't remember.
With Lambda?
What was Lambda playing? What was the hero? Was
Jesus Christ! I have to look this up now. They were playing Farah. Like there were 3 versions. There was the main Genji and Farah, and they were playing the Farah version.
Oh yeah, they were hard Farah. Yeah, correct. So yeah, Lambda is the Farah specialist. Lambda's a far better Farah player. That's what it comes down to, I think.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, was UB like benched, or was that like a strategic choice to have Lambda just rock the Farah the entire stage?
I think it was a hero. I legitimately think it was a hero choice option. Like you just have a much better Farah player in Lambda, and you can't sub out Quartz when he's your mechanically best player, and also Cass is viable. Like, come on. So, unfortunately, it just means for that team where they would probably prefer otherwise play UB, they can't. Genuinely.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. It's not a team that instills confidence. I'd probably put them along like NRG, I think, personally. So
I put them maybe like maybe even slightly above NRG tier, and then potentially, and then like below, maybe even below like Ints.
I put
coming
them
into this
below
event.
ends for sure.
Yeah. So like I would say
can
like
agree with
they're fighting to not be the worst right now, like the worst team right now coming into the event. But I mean, they could potentially punch up. I think they could punch up a lot more than NRG even at times.
This is where I hot take again. I think again, if it is an actual amalgam meta, I would put team above Ants. I think Ants would struggle more.
Wow.
If it really is amalgam meta. Like again, there's a lot of like surrounding parameters here. I want to make it clear, like, because people will come back to this like, oh, can't believe he said team we're going to be better than Ants. But the parameter does require that we are in a heavy amalgam meta. Right, because if we actually go to Stockholm and Malga's not that good, and we end up playing a bunch of Ilios or Watch playing Gibraltar, and then Crazy Raccoon Jumba just plays ball the whole time, and then TM just get lost because they can't play as much Malga as they want to, then yeah, they'll lose. But if it is a hard Malga meta to the point where like Malga's even gonna be played on non-Malga maps, then shit, TM's gonna be good and Ants is gonna struggle.
I can't do that to my ends. I know it's a bit of a take there, but I can't do it. I can't do it to ends. I can't join you, AVRL. I can't join you. All right, we got 2 Korean teams left. Which one are we doing first? Falcons.
Oh man!
I mean,
Crazy Raccoon on LAN challenge.
And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy though? They're gonna show up here. They're gonna show up here, and they're gonna be playing. Majed's gonna really come out here and pop off.
You reckon?
I think he plays. I think he plays.
They put Majed in.
Yeah.
Huh?
What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen is let me look at the bracket. I was gonna say if they end up versus like NIG or somebody who they think they can just really beat without any issues.
Yeah.
At minimum, I think Majid gets a map.
Yeah.
And actually, it's Falcons Twisted Minds round 1. So I think you have a situation where like if TM just gets stomped for 2 maps, map 3 Majid comes out for sure. Majid plays versus TM. Absolutely, come on.
Oh sure, okay.
It would be funny. It would be very funny. I mean, like, but I think this is my current. I'm gonna be honest. God, Crazy Raccoon they were so good all year, and I remember going into like one of our previous episodes being like, if Crazy Raccoon doesn't win Stockholm or whatever, I was like, but now I'm like, holy shit, dude, the meta for Falcons is just like so good comparatively.
Yeah.
Like it's just so, and like obviously they're an insanely good team. They've been like vying for like the best spot in the world for the whole season alongside Crazy Raccoon to a degree, but it's like, holy fuck, dude. I was like, no way Crazy Raccoon does not win this whole year. And now I'm like, no, it's gonna be Falcons, isn't it? My Crazy Raccoons, they're going to be euthanized. No.
Well, I think it's better that it's a competitive final, a competitive like end to the year rather than one team winning absolutely everything, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I do too. I agree to a sense, but I really love the Crazy Raccoon team. And also, I also really like Crazy Raccoon as an org as well.
Yeah, they're doing a lot actually for the community, no joke.
Like, I think they actually have like a crazy, ridiculous org presence and just a fun way of doing stuff. Like, but yeah, I think I'm gonna be honest. I think I might have to go back and say that Falcons might win. I think they might gonna win Stockholm.
In this meta, I think I agree, yeah.
If they play, unless the meta is not what we believe it to be, we've been essentially seeing the World War II like inflatable, like, you know, where they're inflating all the shit to like think the Germans, the invasion was happening a different day. Like we faked out. We faked out by a meta.
Okay. All right.
Or Crazy Raccoons are the greatest like innovators of our time, and like they like pull up some crazy shit. And I'm like, okay, awesome. And with
So
us
far,
earning the name.
This year they have been the greatest innovators, but I do want to bring us back to Dallas, where like they were probably going to lose to Falcons at Dallas if it wasn't for the Jimbin Ball. That legitimately won them the finals because they lost to Falcons in the upper bracket final in the mirror match, in the Malga mirror match. They are not as good at the Malga. So if we are in a Malga meta again, Falcons win it. Falcons actually probably still a favorite to win the whole thing, even over SSG if we're like talking about a hard Malga meta. But SSG just have an outside shot, is what I said. But yeah, Crazy Raccoon are nerfed quite a bit significantly here because I just think something, especially when you don't have the capability of playing Lip on a hard hit scan and jumping on his ball and stuff like that. But if you can actually experiment.
Well, bro. If he brings out Hog again for the finals,
all the stuff.
Go crazy.
It's part of the reason why he won the MVP at Dallas Stars because he allowed Crazy Raccoon to innovate. So if Crazy Raccoon can innovate and get away from the Malga meta, then yeah, they're still a genuine threat to win the whole thing as well.
Falcons are going to be worried about that, I think, genuinely. If they innovate faster than Falcons can, in that in Dallas, in Stockholm, it might be GG. But in the hard meta, they force it. I think I agree with Connor. I think Falcons probably take it.
Yeah.
But I believe I want in my heart of hearts for Crazy Raccoon to win. I'm just saying, like, my brain is currently saying Falcons, unfortunately.
I think that's fair. I was going, to say this on broadcast too, but I feel like every tournament there is a little meta adaptation that happens mid-tournament. Like, it's always the case that there is like usually a meta going into the tournament, and then a couple of teams, they find out that like we can't win playing the meta, and so we have to innovate. We have to try something else. That's what happened at Dallas. Falcons were playing double flex, and CR was like, we can't match them on double flex. We have to like do something different. And I think Lipforce, like the Cassidy, Junbin play the Road Dog and the Wrecking Ball at times, and they worked their way around that, and they put Falcons in a really tough spot. Like that, those matches at Dallas, and I know like the Asia main event finals was amazing too, but I think the match in Dallas, the two matches in Dallas were so incredible because you could see the smaller adjustments they made throughout the matches. So it was amazing to watch. I think the same thing is going to happen. It happened last year for Florida Mayhem as well. People were like, oh, what's the meta? Florida Mayhem were like, well, it's rock, paper, scissors, and then we'll win playing the Reinhardt because he's the strongest. And so this always happens. There's a little bit of adjustment mid-tournament, and I think the same thing is going to happen here, where day 3 going into the final day, there'll be like a meta that's known, but one of the teams will push in a direction trying to give themselves the best win condition. So, and frick it. Like, I would please, if the Korean teams were like, frick the Mauga stuff, we're just gonna mirror dive because we
That'd
be
be
sick.
playing
dive. Please, just do that. I'd be all for that too. So, play Ilios, play Gibraltar. Please do that. I look forward to that. So, but yeah, I think talking about both of these teams, both Falcons and now coming up next, Crazy Raccoon, like, they're just giga stacked. They're the two best teams. They're evenly matched. Falcons might have a side edge in the meta.
Genuinely, if they like go against some.
This is not Knife, by the way. Knife left the team, but
Solomon, real quick, go inspect this page and just edit.
Dude,
hover over Knife and just press
it's a
delete.
picture. You can't inspect the picture.
Oh, is it?
Making him
Oh,
do too
damn.
much.
Okay.
It's also crazy how Knife is getting like, I find it very funny. I don't know, like, I'm assuming there was like were they mutually partying ways or whatever? Was that like
Image copy? Here we go.
But I just find it funny that
It was
like
weird.
Knife
It was a
is
week
like
before.
he's being seen as like almost a Tracer merchant, and it's like, well, like Tracer hit scan merchant, like, oh, we're not playing that. Yeah, like I think he's like a flex merchant, like a Tracer, like Genji, like merchant to a degree, like in the way
he's really flexible. He plays both hit scan and flex DPS.
No, I know, but the point being is that like I think it's funny that's how he's being perceived here, just because of the fact that he's leaving when the meta swaps where like you don't really need the flex as much, like going into this potential meta. I'm not saying that's actually the case. I know Knife is really flexible, but like I just find it funny that this is the perception that it's being given off to a degree, that him leaving the team right before Stockholm when the meta shifts right before.
I just think Crazy Raccoon have had the same core all year, and they would rather play with that core rather than like try and somehow fit Knife in when they. Oh, by the way, look at the tag for Knife. His Twitter tag is Psycho OW. Just real quick.
Wow.
Oh, no way. Changed his handle.
Damn.
He's a big fan.
Big fan. Yeah. I don't know. I think it would have been fine to keep him. I don't know why they dropped him. Is it like is it a money thing? I actually don't know. But
they're probably not going to play him with Hisang and Lip. Right?
I mean, if they're
I would
assume
going into an Echo meta like this, like I don't think you play Knife.
But like, if it doesn't cost you too much more to bring him over, is it not just worth to bring him over for the funsies?
Yeah, I don't know.
If you are absolutely 100% convinced that you are not going to play them, then why spend the money?
I mean, it could also be a coach thing. They're just like, hey, Knife, like, you're probably not going to get play time. And, maybe Knife was just like, well, if I'm probably not going to get play time, like, do I even want to come? Kind of thing, Like, I don't know.
Yeah, could also be that too.
Yeah, that's fair shout.
But essentially, it all leads into the same thing anyways, right? Like, they're, like, convinced he probably won't get play time. Like, without, like, obviously some sort of scandal involved, that is the most obvious answer. It's like, hey, we're not going to take you. You're not going to play. Let's release you early so you have more time to start, like, putting yourself out on the market and like potentially find a new home type of thing.
The market. So many teams looking right now. All those teams trying to pick up new Overwatch players.
Yeah, you never know.
November of 2024. Yeah.
Well, it's just like, what's the point of
big
like
market
staying
right
with it when he could, like Johnny said, like he could theoretically not have to go to Stockholm if he doesn't want to.
I think
Yep.
it makes more sense if Crazy Raccoon just wanted to bring their entire 3-man coaching staff over, and there's limited slots for how many people they can take to Stockholm, and they had to maybe drop a
actually
play for that.
another fair shout. Yeah, that wouldn't shock me actually at all. If that was the case.
I kind of don't know what to say like about Crazy Raccoon. Like they're stacked. We know they're stacked. They're even with Falcons, except this meta might not favor them as much. You know, we'll see what happens at LAN. Like we know
MVP skin on this, but
yeah, like we know how stacked they are. So like we already know this. Like what else do we have to say? Do we have to glaze them more?
They will be the innovators in the head-to-head. If it's possible that you can innovate.
I do think
we
this,
will see ball.
this is another thing that we will see. We will see Juno Brig, and unfortunately for this backline, I think it nerfs him slightly. Brig is obviously Chorong. Okay, he's going to play that, but Shu not on Ana is a nerf to the team, genuinely. So Juno, he's like, I'm not saying he's not good at Juno. I'm saying that Juno is not the same pop-up potential as other flex support, even like the Kiriko and stuff like that. So if Shu is not on like a pop-off carry potential flex support, you nerf Shu by a lot. That's another factor. So regardless of whether we play Malga or not, we are going to play Juno.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, you know, when we see these two teams match up, because they're inevitably going to match up at some point, we're going to see adjustments being made. We're going to see different compositions. We're going to see it won't be a mirror. So yeah, I think we're going to see everything that the rosters have. Whether it's, you know, we'll see Shu on at some point. We're going to see maybe Junker Queen at some point. We'll see Widowmaker at some point. Like, I think we're going to see these swaps. So yeah, I kind of think we'll see the full capability of the roster come the event, even though we might be in a bit of Maga-centric battle. So
I'm just hoping either way that we have a good event. You know, I think that's the most important thing. We don't want like insane blowouts. Overwatch has been pretty known to have some bad playoff events in the past.
We just want a great final. I mean, the finals have been great.
I don't even want a great. The finals.
So
the finals have been good. I'm not even saying a great final. I would like a whole event to be good, obviously, to a degree. But like, you know, dream bigger than just the final. Dream bigger. Okay.
Yeah.
It should be.
That's previewing the rosters. Jaws, you have something to attend.
in a few minutes.
Yeah, you got to head out. I wanted to make a quick bracket, but
he's
I
a
think
cake
we
eating
roll through
session
it.
to attend.
I do have to eat the rest of my cake.
He's got a lot of cake to eat.
We've got a lot of cake to eat, bro.
Marie Antoinette looking ass.
But the brackets usually go pretty quick on Plat Chat these days, and I don't think we'll do anything funny. So, Jaws, if you have to go, thank you for your input, and I'll see you in Sweden in a couple of days. So
get out of here.
In a bit. Okay, bye.
All right, he's up. Solomon, do we have the capability to just run through a bracket real quick? We can just paint or like whatever. Oh, here we go. Oh, you got the freaking thing. Great. So I don't think we need to overcomplicate it. We don't need to do any silly things. Let's just get an honest bracket going. Honest predictions. We kind of guessing that the meta is going to be Malga-centric, but recognizing there could be flex things going
Just
on
send
as well.
Falcons and Crazy Raccoon to the winners bracket final.
Yeah, you can do that.
We'll just do that straight away.
Yeah, straight away.
Yeah.
Straight away. Just they win
Just
all
send
their...
them both. Send them both to the upper bracket final.
Well, we have to make a decision still.
Oh, do you? Okay.
we have to make So we got
SSG.
Space Station,
I take
Nightmare.
SSG personally. If it's Malga, we take SSG. Even outside of Malga, I think SSG look cleaner.
I think that's fair.
I think I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Toronto ends. Probably have to go
Take
Toronto.
Yeah, take Toronto. I would take Ints over Shock, I think.
Wait. Oh, you're really speedrunning. You're just going ahead and...
yeah, sorry.
Okay.
This guy's sending Shock home. Boom.
Yeah.
Straight away.
I mean, I just don't have a lot of faith for them in this meta. If it's a different
I
meta
agree.
or
I'm
they
just
play
memeing.
something
I'm just
differently, I
memeing.
think, you know, it's different. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Twisted Minds, Nightmare.
See, this is an interesting one. I think if Malga meta, Twisted should have went, but
I would go Nightmare, actually.
I feel like there's a chance. I feel like Nightmare have a shot here if they can maybe try and do something funny.
I want to go Nightmare, I think. I believe.
You just had you feel better about the vibe
Twisted
and
Minds is potentially better, but also I am a North American bias, so if we actually have people supporting Nightmare to go forward, I'm gonna say fuck it and throw my hat to it because I always want North America to do well. So,
well, fuck, am I?
Because I don't feel insanely strong about
I
it.
wanna
feel
say-
more confident about one though.
Oh, I'm gonna put Connor in the seat. I'm gonna go Twisted. Johnny's gonna go Nightmare, and then Connor can decide between them.
Wait,
Nightmare.
wait.
I'm Nightmare.
Okay, Nightmare, and you're Twisted.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Come
I
on.
think if I'm
make it
given
hard.
the opportunity to advance a North American team when I don't really feel insanely confident. I feel more confident
on.
about Twisted Minds. I'm just
Seeker?
gonna go Nightmare. Nightmare. I'm just gonna give you Nightmare.
Let's go.
And also, I think Seeker's probably locked the fuck in. He's been on social media.
Yeah,
for
they're
a bit,
locked
you know?
in.
He's-
I just
he's
wanted-
locked
They're locked in.
I just wanted to put you in the hot seat to make you choose.
I mean, it's
not
not
make
that
it
big.
easy for you.
It'd be one thing if it was like not close, but since it's so close, I'm always gonna throw North America ahead just for the fuck of it, you know?
Okay. Team Falcons, Crazy Raccoon. I feel like this would be the time to go with the Falcon spread. This would be the time to be
Yeah.
like recognize, early
Yeah.
matchup. It's the first time they're playing each other on stage. They probably practice already. Falcons probably give us like 55-45, advantage maybe. Yeah, feel good about
I
that?
take them. I take them. Yeah.
Feel safe? Okay, Toronto Defiant, Nightmare.
Could be Toronto.
Yeah? We're all kind of agreeing there.
Yeah. I agree with
Nightmare
that.
could make it really close. Historically, Nightmare's done it really close against Toronto Defiant. But Toronto Defiant probably edge. Come out on top. Space Station ends.
Toronto.
It's funny, we got NA and EMEA matchups in the lower bracket.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah?
I mean, I'd probably take Space Station. I think.
I would take
in this
Space Station.
situation.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Which sets up a Toronto SSG matchup. Oh,
I mean,
I might be.
I'm going Toronto. Historically, I'm just gonna pick Toronto just because I just feel better about them still, even though the meta is so in the rain. I mean, surely, you know.
I kind of.
I'm crazy, but I kind of want to go SSG here. I kind of.
Okay, well,
Oh,
Johnny tiebreaker.
no.
Johnny tiebreaker.
Siri's like begging.
Siri, what do you think? What do you think? She just wants to go out. She hasn't gone out in a while.
She wants some cake. She wants Jules' cake.
Yeah, if only Jaws had cake to give.
I think Toronto Defiance got it. I'm predicting Toronto versus.
Ooh.
I think I like the extra bit of flair. If it isn't a full Mauga mirror kind of meta, I think Toronto Defiant is the better team. And I could even see them being really competitive in the Mauga meta. So I got Toronto Defiant coming out on top over Space Station.
Let's go, North America! We
Crazy Raccoon.
And just in time for them to lose. Let's go, North America!
Crazy Raccoon against Toronto Defiant. I think we gotta go Crazy Raccoon here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that sets us up for the finals. Again, rematch. Team Falcons, Crazy Raccoon. Oh boy.
I mean, I think I'm taking
Oh,
Falcons
boy.
in this meta. If this is the meta we believe, I'm taking Falcons. I think I'm taking Falcons right now, even though it hurts my fucking heart. I want Crazy, but like, I gotta go with what I believe, not what I hope.
God damn.
Good enough for me. Good enough for me, fellas. I'll take
You
that.
wanna go? Are we going Falcons? God damn.
Do you want to, Johnny, or what do you have? What's your input here?
I mean, it's literally flipping a coin. They're evenly matched historically. Or actually, historically, Crazy Raccoon has gone the better edge of Falcon, but recently, Falcons won. So, I think either pick is justifiable. I think.
So we can flip the OWCS coin. I brought the OWCS coin to flip.
I think I was going to go with Falcons, but if we want to flip it for the official Plat Chat pred, I wouldn't be opposed.
Literally for fun.
Oh.
Okay. Wait, what is that?
Wait, it's not.
I
it's
didn't
just
even
a
know
GIF.
we have that.
It's just a GIF. Yeah, so it won't show. All right, so let's figure out who's heads and who's tails. We got Crazy Raccoon tails, Falcons heads.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Wait,
yes.
what's on the coin? Like, what's the tails
Coin?
and what's
Okay,
the heads?
one-
No, show the
one
coin.
is-
Show the coin. Show the coin. What's
is-
heads and what's tails?
It is a Texan.
Okay,
One's
yeah.
a star,
Okay,
a Texas
a
star,
star,
and
sure.
OWCS logo.
Okay,
OWCS
so the
logo
OD
should be heads.
That should be heads. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. So star is tails and logo is heads.
Yes.
And I think Falcons is heads, and Crazy Raccoons is tails.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
We good? Okay.
We're good. Show it.
Reveal it.
Heads.
Heads!
Falcons.
It's Falcons.
Point of
Yeah,
agreement.
and that aligns with my
Falcons.
personal biases. That aligns with my personal biases too, which is good.
It was written in the coin flip.
It's written
There
in
we
the
go.
flip. Yeah.
Wait, let me get Siri in here for the certified.
Is
Come
it
here,
not
Siri.
insane how much coin flipping has been involved in Overwatch esports like history? If you think about it, like just like
do you
random
mean?
chance, like but from predictions to like map
Balance.
picking to balance,
picking.
like the amount of random
Dude.
chance that has emerged in like we shouldn't be an esport title. We should be a casino. We should be getting people addicted to gambling.
Loot boxes?
Oh, no, we can finally get gambling sponsors. Oh my god, it lines up perfectly. Wow, that's genius.
This is going all the way back, but for Apex Season 1, they would literally coin flip the control map. They would just... I mean, I guess they did that in the past
What we
too,
need
when there was
now-
when there was no seeding and stuff like that.
What-
I guess
what
they
we
do
need-
that too, but...
Johnny, what we need now is for Siri to decide the outcome the same way Nori banned heroes in 2020. So he's Cat Nori. So he's Cat Nori deciding
I think
things.
the Overwatch community is past animals making
They
choices for
they
humans.
love animals deciding things in our
I think
esport.
we've opted for competitive integrity moving forward. Anyway, can we get,
I
can we get a
personally
Plat
thought it was
Chat
funny.
certified on the bracket?
Yeah, put the Plat Chat certified, and then put Jaws's face.
Just put a massive
on
cake
this.
in there.
There we
Yeah,
go.
maybe a piece of cake.
Piece of cake. All right, great. Well, gentlemen, it's gonna be fun.
There it is.
There it is.
There.
Oh, you got that so fast.
Yeah.
That was just there. That was so quick.
When I
So
go
it's
to my
genius.
fucking nieces and nephews.
See, this is the thing. This is the thumbnail where like instead of the cake, it's like got an Overwatch OWCS logo or something, or like some Stockholm thing, and there it is. And then it's just us presenting OWCS through Jaws
Amazing.
presenting as cake.
Yeah. All right, that's been your OWCS Stockholm finals preview
Solomon's so
for this
fast.
year. That's great.
This is good.
That's
This is
great.
a good preview. I
Solomon
think
works
this will be a good
quick.
event.
Like
Yeah. I don't think we could have asked for more. This is a great comprehensive preview for everybody. This is obviously pre-recorded. I don't know why I'm saying this now, but we recorded this Monday and it'll be released on Tuesday. So, yeah, it'll be great. AVRL, I'll see you in Sweden.
yep.
Avast, take care
You will
in
not be
Los
seeing
Angeles.
me in Sweden. You will not be
You
seeing me
will-
in Sweden.
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
go
Be
streaming
back
the
in
event,
Los
though, but I
Angeles.
will
Go
not
streaming.
be.
There you go.
I will not be at the event though.
Yeah.
Imagine if I co-stream with you, but I'm actually in the fit and you. I don't know.
Solomon, are you
That
going?
would be sick.
No, Solomon's not going.
Damn.
All right. Well,
Damn.
Solomon
Okay.
lives 1 hour away from Sweden and doesn't go.
well, it's kind of comfy to be in your sit at your desk and watch it anyway. It's gonna be cold as shit. Well, I guess it's cold over by you as well. Anyway, thanks for watching Overwatch episode 245. Who knows about the next episode? We need to release an episode the week after. I don't know how we're gonna record this. Avril, will you bring your stuff? We can record one.
To Stockholm.
Yeah, can we record?
Yes. I've bought it every time, but everyone always bails and doesn't want to do
Okay.
stuff. So.
Well, I consider this a promise. We
Okay.
need promise from me. We need to do it probably after the finals, before people go haywire and start
After the finals? Do you guys leave the day after though? Like I don't know.
No, I'm saying an extra week. People are probably flying out. Yeah, like Jaws is probably flying out.
Okay.
Stuff like
If
that.
you want to do something afterwards, then yeah, I'll be there.
I think that's probably the move, and it'll probably be like an hour episode or something. So now we're just
but I-
kind of just now we're
You're just gonna do it. You're just gonna do it. You're just gonna do
Okay,
it.
all right.
Well, I mean, they
We'll
can
figure it out.
You guys
We'll
can
figure
cut
it
the
out.
VOD.
We'll
You can
figure
cut the
it out.
VOD. You can just cut.
No. I want the fans to know. I want the fans to know that we are doing a thing in Stockholm.
I'm a fan of setting expectations, so the
Same.
fans have expectations about what's to come. It's
I'm
not going to
assuming
be a
you guys are
polished
just
episode.
gonna do that in Sweden, right? Or are you gonna try to port in people too? Because like also I'll start traveling as well because I'm gonna be doing the coaching for.
We'll probably
friends'
just-
house and stuff. So
Do it live, yeah. So sorry, I've asked.
that's okay.
Unless we can call you in somehow.
I expected no different. It's okay.
Maybe we'll see what Solomon can cook up. Maybe
right.
we'll see what Solomon can do. Maybe we'll have like a custom overlay and we can put in Avast or something. It'll be all good. Anyways, thank you for watching today's episode, and we'll see you next week when everything is concluded. Enjoy Stockholm, the event that is the live stream. Enjoy the tournament. Goodbye.